Ahoy and welcome, everyone. Welcome to Horizon's Call. It feels like we haven't done this for a while, so if we're glad to be back. We only took like 1 week off, but we're glad to have all of you here. Glad to be back in these wonderful, comfortable chairs that we sit in for 3 hours every Saturday. But I'm very excited to have this cast back so that we can do more nautical adventures and swashbuckling synonym for adventures here. I am Derek Sword. I am your GM for this game. I'm your guiding compass as we navigate the treacherous seas of Domaris. I use he, him pronouns, and yes, Sword is my real last name. Yes, it's awesome. No, you can't have it. I am here to, basically help these people tell this story, and I'm just riffing because I lost my intro document. Hey, there it is. I found it. Before we get into intros and talking about these wonderful people that are amazing characters, I do want to say, if you appreciate this show, if you appreciate especially our cast, which honestly, how could you not, please consider giving through our Pally account. Pally is a wonderful service that we use, which evenly distributes anything that you are able to give, and helps show that you like what we do. It's better than doing anything directly through Twitch, because Twitch certainly does take its cut and Pally really doesn't. And like I said, evenly distributes, does the math for me, which I would pay anybody to do math for me. So yes, if you do that, also you do impact our game. You can give crits, advantages. You can give things called a black spot, which is a complication that is added to the already stressful situations that our characters find themselves in from time to time. You will also contractually obligate me to sing a sea shanty if you do give us a black spot. So consider that as well. We have a wonderful list of sea shanties to get through. I think that is probably, I should say, if you do give through Twitch, it does support the channel. It is much appreciated, but please consider giving through Pally as the primary form. It like I said, shows the cast you appreciate them, and it means a lot to me. So that all said, I'm going to turn it over to my cast real quick and have them introduce themselves and say a little bit about their characters. I don't know what order they're in because I don't have that pulled up, but I'm going to guess it's similar. So I'm going to say, Eva, you might be first.
It's me. And we will end with me so I can do the recap. But that's kind of my Winnie voice. Hi, I'm Eva, she, her. Today I am playing Winnie, your friendly neighborhood spider sea elf, who is a alchemical artificer.
Did you say spider sea elf?
I might have. Because, like, friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. Anyway.
I get, okay, all right. I was worried that I had forgotten something about Winnie's. Okay, well, that's good for Mikyl. I was worried that I had missed something with your weird potions that you tend to drink.
Also,
from time
she's
to
a
time.
spider now, but she also isn't. She doesn't have access to her potion at the moment. So
she's just a sea elf full of spiders. Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
No.
Now that I ruined everything for everyone,
I
Mare,
like it.
Please. Okay. Well, there's one.
It's not the worst thing I've heard in terms of horror. Anyway, hi, I'm Mary. You can find me on Twitter, Archmage of Dice. I use they, she pronouns, and I am playing your lovely Acacia, your soul knife, Scott, star druid, centaur person thing. And I would like to petition to change Derek's title on the overlay from Game Master to Guiding Compass.
Ooh.
I like that. I like that. Still not as cool as Sunken's Helm of the World, but
it's so good.
It's so good. Thank you, Mare. Next up, Mikyl.
Hi, fam. I'm Mikyl. I am playing he, him pronouns. I am playing Proximus, a Shadow Knight, or maybe not, maybe just Proximus now. He is a Shadow Sorcerer and a Paladin, and I'm just happy to be back. Hi, y'all.
Who needs last names in a
Right?
world as chaotic as this? As always, a special thank you to Mikyl for doing the amazing artwork that you see on the screen right now, on our promotional materials. Mykyl's fantastic. We absolutely appreciate him putting in the work, and I've seen some of the work that is also coming for some of our future guests, so I can't wait for that as well. Great. Last but absolutely not least, Kaila.
Hi, hello, my name is Kaila. I play our lovely warlock siren, Scarlet Shores, who uses she, her pronouns, as well as myself.
See, I muted myself. I don't know why I did that. Fantastic. Thank you, Kaila. Okay, well, then to go full circle then, Eva, you have the recap.
It is. It's me. Okay, so no shit. There we were. fighting a Hydra. And we killed it. That was pretty good. It took a while. It took a lot of brains. It took a little bit of brawn. Some of us had both. Some of us only had one or the other. It's fine. We're not really, like, keeping track of, like, DPS or anything like that. Like, there was some good crowd control for sure. Have you ever seen a Hydra? That is a lot of crowd to control. Thank you very much. If we could have but a moment of silence for our dearly beloved Jeffrey, who was struck down callously in the prime of his life. This version was at least a couple months old. That's actually a pretty good run for him. It's okay, though. I brought him back. But he's still X'd out on my screen, so it's very distressing. We rid the island, Undertoe, of this blight, and the plants are starting to come back. The water doesn't seem contaminated anymore. And Brig, our new best friend, the halfling, is kind of making some friends now and isn't not exiled, but whatever it is when you kind of are exiled but also of your own volition. There's probably a word for it. I don't know what it is. Anyway, we were scouting the island and doing our own things, making some maps, repairing our fallen comrades, and saw some ships that we weren't really expecting. A few, depending on how you want to view things. And it turns out it was my presumptuous brother, Rollin, who thought that he would help us with the island. I will note that he brought a lot of builders and not a lot of, like, armored people to help with the Hydra, so I guess he thought that we had that covered, which is fine. But anyway, so we are waiting, for the council from Cora to come and kind of decide if they want help with the island or not. Yeah, I'm just putting some sweet stickers on Jeffrey version 7.1.
Do you think it's 7? I think it's like 4 or 5.
Well,
How many times has he gotten destroyed?
I'm thinking he got
Twice
destroyed
in-game.
during
I'm thinking when he's
during the attack of Cora,
Yeah.
and then there might have been one time before that. I think maybe one time after. I think this is 4.
I'm pretty
But-
I
sure.
think she probably, like, tinkers with them to, like, upgrade.
Oh, just does little upgrades on him.
So like
Yeah.
4.1.
Yeah.
Winnie's definitely a Tony Stark.
The OS is just changing the, yeah.
Winnie just puts on a little goatee.
Pencil it in.
Every tinker is a point X, and then every
Yeah.
time he gets destroyed is the next whole number.
Yeah.
I need Winnie in a black
so-
turtleneck to be like
3.2.
the Jeffrey 7. Now waterproof. This amazing boost in technology can fit
Upgraded.
right in your portable
No
hole.
more auxiliary ports, but has Bluetooth.
The last Jeffrey could dab. This one knows all the dance moves. Hit it, Jeffrey.
This one flosses.
Oh my
It just
god.
dances like Bill Gates at the release of like Windows 98.
Yeah.
Okay.
He makes that little boot up sound.
What if he did the internet sound?
Yes.
You
oh
got
gosh.
mail.
The modem.
Yeah. All right. We.
Oh, the modem noises. Okay.
Modem noise, yes.
Are we still in the middle of your recap, or are we done? I don't want to.
God, I hope
don't
we're
wanna...
done. That's all I got.
Okay, fantastic. Great. So we all find ourselves on the island of Undertoe. Hey, I'm there too. You just can't see me. The island has a lot more people than you recently knew that it had on it. That's a weird way of saying that. Basically, Rollin brought a whole bunch of ships to shore. Mostly longboats have come to shore because from what you've been able to tell, there's no dock here. Nothing's necessarily been built, so the shallows are a bit too shallow for these larger, quarter ships and long ships that are not long ships, but these merchant vessels that Rollin brought in. You could tell from the sails that these have come from the nearby dwarven island of Axia, as well as the human hobgoblinish goblinoid island that literally just slipped my mind. But also there are some halfling ships as mine. Anoth was the human island. And then, yes, you have also gotten some ships from Hillholm. And they brought a number of things on land before you basically told Rollin, what the hell, stop. So basically at this point, like, the crews have come ashore. They've set up little campsites for themselves. There's a little bit of intermingling, but nobody has gone further inland. And Rollin has kind of just instructed everybody, don't do anything. Just, sit on your hands. You're still getting paid. And you all did send, actually you sending Winnie. Are you raising your hand? Or are you?
Yes.
Okay.
Winnie would just hey, I know that y'all aren't really supposed to be doing anything, but might I interest you in some local souvenirs? And would like to help Brig show off the Butt Hut's wares. And maybe start some
Oh, for sure. Like,
commerce.
Brig's pottery business is absolutely booming, mostly because these individuals didn't plan to, really have to camp for a long period of time. And so, yes, butt mugs, butt plates, butt bowls are just, everybody is holding cushion at this point. I mean, yeah, everybody's grabbing cheek when
I
they're
thought you were
going
to ask them to make an outhouse.
Oh, that would probably have been smart, but no.
The ocean's right there. You just step into it and no. So the island has also been healing significantly from when the Hydra was here. I mean, we're going to have a week. Let me finish the last thing I was going to say. You did cast Sending to Acacia's dad's. I'm assuming Darius. It seems like the more responsible one.
Yes.
Basically saying, we need you to form a council, whether it's the Corins voting on these people or whether, we trust you to kind of pick some people that could best represent the Corin population when it comes to deciding what's going to happen. Are we even going to name it New Cora? And they have basically set up, they let you know that they are going to pick a group of under 10 people and take the Bloodhound and come to the island. So it does take about half a week to get to you all. Half of a 10-day, I should say, so about 5 days to get to you all. So you will have those 5 days kind of just to sit around, boost Brig's business, all that. But again, in that time, the island has been revitalized in a lot of ways. These white flowers, which you come to learn are lily of the valley, are just covering this island. The trees have kind of, grown back to their full height and, health. So there's so much green here, and the forest is very lush where you are from where you are on this beach. Brig's business is booming. You all have a couple of days. Is there anything you would like to do in that time?
Brig's booty business is booming.
Brig's booty business is booming. Exactly. Change up the music here. Winnie, is there anything Winnie would be doing?
Winnie is going to have to remember Acacia. Winnie is going to
What?
Probably after the first day or so, after everything's settled down a little bit, just puppy eyes, dogfish pup eyes, I guess. That makes it worse. Hey, so, you're not using my potion, right? I could just have it back. I'll be safe. I'll be careful with it.
You need
it only
to
got
ask
really
Scarlet.
weird once. Scarlet? I thought you had it.
I do have it. But you need to ask Scarlet if you can have it back.
I feel like this is gonna be a lot of like, go ask your dad, go ask your mom. So I guess that's what she's doing for 5 days, is just going back and forth between Scarlet and Acacia. Hey, Scarlet!
What does
And then she's gonna be tinkering. She's gonna be making her regular elixirs, which I will roll on here in a minute. And taking a look at the pieces of that mirror.
Okay.
Before we get started on that, Scarlet, how long
Yeah.
do you say she can have it back? What is the disposition?
Why do I get the feeling that Acacia
I'm too busy
has,
to
like,
discuss it.
a one-on-one link with Scarlet so they can coordinate?
No, probably like closer to like when everyone gets here. I probably give it back. I'm not going to keep it the entire time. But there is a little bit of ask your mom for a little bit.
So we can absolutely deal with whether you're actually going to give it back or play this keep away. But Winnie, you did want to take a look at the magic mirror. We can say that absolutely. I mean, these are builders, carpenters, stonemasons. They have set up like little work tables. You don't really have. I guess I should ask you guys. This is like the first time that you've really been away from like. The redemption is right there. You could absolutely sleep in the redemption.
We had our ship.
You do have your ship. I'm just thinking,
looking at
like,
this thing in front
did
of-
you all? I'll ask you all this. Throughout this, half a week that you're waiting for the Bloodhound to arrive, are you all sleeping on Undertow, or are you going back to the ship to sleep? Are you setting up tents?
Scarlet wouldn't have anywhere to sleep on that ship.
Yeah, but I mean,
Oh,
That's not her
space would
ship
still be there.
anymore.
I don't think they
She's just like in a hammock below decks.
I don't think they took your room though. I think they know better than that. I think your room is still yours.
Yeah, because you never gave the impression that you were keeping command of the Bloodhound like forever, and also like
Right,
we
definitely.
redesigned the whole ship while you were still part of it.
I've been under the impression that even though you're the captain of the Bloodhound, you're still the fucking owner of both of them.
I mean, that's also true.
Just kick Connery out of his bed. It's fine.
Oh yeah, that's gonna go well. Let's see. I want to see that conversation. Thank you.
But
Have him
yes,
curl
no,
up at the end of the bed against your feet.
Still beneath the forecastle is like, since Winnie's set up in the hold, the port side of the forecastle is still technically Scarlet space, and Proximus has the starboard side, and then Acacia has like space on the top deck, because that's where we've kind of established that
I'd be
Acacia
sleeping on the
sleeps.
mostly top deck or like with the
Yeah.
rest of the crew. But no, I don't sleep on deck. I sleep in on Undertow in the woods.
Okay. Does Acacia have a tent? Or, I mean, a bedroll feels weird for a centaur.
So I know I've mentioned it like behind the scenes before, but like, have y'all seen that centaur art? There's an artist that does really, really good centaur lore art. But she has, when she's traveling, she has essentially what is a plank. It's like at a 45-degree angle where her horse heart part can lay down, and then she can lean her Riemann part about against it.
Mhm.
But that's really
It's
only
like a
when
folding
I'm roughing it.
backrest.
Yeah, it's like a folding like side rest.
Yeah.
Sometimes depends on the day. I do just sprawl, but I don't know how the rest of the island feels yet. I'm not gonna go sprawl in like mud.
Got a huge island. Sprawl as you like.
I will sprawl occasionally.
But yes, since we were talking about you with the mirror, do you have a tent? Did you like set up a little area for yourself?
I think Winnie would have a tent. But I think she's gonna be messing with the mirror on the redemption, with all her like
Okay.
stuff.
Okay. So what are we trying to do with the mirror? Are we trying to reassemble it, or are we trying to figure out like the inherent magic of it? What's Winnie's goal here?
Both. But also, it makes sense to start with putting it back together just physically.
Okay.
But like reassembling it, but not in the way where like she's putting in the final piece and it like activates. Like she's going to I don't know how many pieces it's in, but like, you know, she'll check the magic like as she goes, I guess. But
I would probably say hundreds to thousands of pieces. This mirror was shattered, and it is a 4-foot tall mirror.
yeah, she'll do like a cursory check on the magic to make sure that like putting 2 pieces together isn't going to like explode the ship, I guess. But other than that, she'll work on just physically. She and Jeffrey will work on physically reassembling it.
Okay. It feels like this is. It feels like I want to make this a sleight of hand, but it feels like even more than that, it needs to be an intelligence check. I know both of which Winnie is really good at. So let's just make this a flat intelligence check to see if you can reassemble all of these teeny tiny pieces where they would need to be. I mean, this is like a nightmare puzzle that also cuts your fingers while you're doing it.
I was gonna say one of those skills is significantly better than the other, but I can do intelligence, I guess. 23.
Okay. So this is going to be a couple of rolls because again, this is a 4-foot mirror. This is probably going to be like a long-term project if we're going to use like Blades in the Dark terminology. So I would say with a 23, that is a really good start. You know, you have gotten some of the larger pieces down. You have figured out like maybe where some of the smaller pieces go, but there's still some that need to be rearranged here or there. And you can tell that there still is like a magical charge to this. It hasn't been fully dissipated, but you are going to need to do something almost superhuman to bring this back. Not impossible. You know, Winnie, technically a 23 is somewhat superhuman, but it's going to take a lot more, I think, to fully bring this back to being fully usable.
Okay.
Yes, definitely a good start. Scarlett, what are you up to for these days, if anything?
Probably a lot of, what's the word I want to use? I don't want to say captain duties because it's not going to be captain duties, but it is definitely going to be, God, what's the word? Basically saving face and talking with all of the people who came through on the ships and are just sitting and waiting.
Okay. All right.
What is that called? I feel like
just socializing?
But it's more formal than that.
Okay.
Like
Yes.
diplomatic.
Yeah, but like less, I guess less political.
We'll think about it.
It'll pop to me in 3 hours.
While you're doing your less political diplomacy, I will say that, yeah, you absolutely do see a number of different peoples here. Again, there are what would be familiar to you, the kind of like maroon and green and silver uniforms of people from Anoth, because you technically kind of ate one of them. But these are humans and goblinoids. So a lot of the workers here, you would see that there are a couple of goblins, but it's mostly humans, hobgoblins, and bugbears. There are a lot of bugbears because, especially with that reach, with that stature, like manual labor is a really big thing to them. I would still say predominantly humans when it comes to Anoth. Axia, definitely dwarves, like a lot of the carpenters, a lot of the stonemasons are definitely from Axia, and they're the ones with, they didn't take any submarines, which you know that dwarves have, but these are actually sailing vessels, much more angular in design with these very large, broad, square sails. And then, yes, there are also the halfling folk from Hillholm, and you kind of get that, like, they have brought, because they are closest, a lot of like produce, a lot of I would say like things that don't like they've actually brought preserves, but they've also brought things that, you know, aren't going to last super long, like, you know, fruit and vegetables and things like that. I can't think of that word. Words are just hard today. But yes, is there anybody in particular that you're looking to talk to?
Not in particular, just trying to, I don't want to even say like establish, you know, order or something like that, because Scarlett is not going to be in charge of the council or anything. It's basically just going to be, here I am, don't fuck up,
like, yeah,
don't
I'm
fuck
an
with these people.
figure.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And I would say, go ahead and give me an insight check, just as you're looking across everybody.
18.
Great. Everybody seems to be pretty professional. There is sort of like a grumbliness, especially to the dwarves, because you kind of get that they sailed the furthest and kind of like want to get to work and kind of feel like sitting on their hands is just a waste of time. But you also hear a lot of people just, we're still getting paid. It's, the job, whether it happens or not, it's fine. It's still not necessarily a waste of anything. The halflings definitely are the most sociable of everybody and are like, sharing the food, kind of going around, playing music. They are an affable folk. Okay. Yeah, if you wanted, I will say that if you want to know anything about any of the peoples, you absolutely can with an 18, but if you're kind of just going around saying, I'm Scarlet, chill out.
Just vibe
keep
check.
Yeah.
Vibe check, making sure people know that it's not just a lawless land.
Yeah. Nobody hostile here. Everybody seems to be a pretty consummate professional. You kind of get that maybe with the money that is being spent, like these aren't brigands, these aren't pirates, these aren't even really sailors. They're absolutely like the sailors brought them here, but the people that are on the island are workers. They're construction workers. They're
skilled
people
craftsmen.
Exactly. Proximus, what have you been up to?
Proximus would be helping everyone get ashore and set up the refugees and the taking shifts on the redemption to assist with allowing people to get shore leave and telling stories about the Hydra at night.
I think that definitely gets a lot of attention. Go ahead and roll me a performance check. We'll see how good your storytelling is.
I want to use shape water to animate the stories so that they could see like a representation of what happened.
I like that.
That is a 17.
I'd say that's a pretty good story. That is an above average storytelling, especially with the shape water. I think it's not exact. It's water. You've got like a bunch of little tubes of water that all represent the heads, and like one of them splash as it gets lopped off. Two more will kind of come out. But no, I think you tell a great story, and a lot of these guys haven't been beneath the water, and they are engaged and you keep definitely some entertainment during the evenings.
Just so everybody doesn't get bored.
Absolutely, yeah. Boredom is the worst thing, but you also kind of get that like. It's a new island. There's not really like, animals or monsters they have to fight off. The worst thing they have to worry about is like a crab pinching them in their sleep if they sleep too close to the shore.
I will work with Connery on mapping the island as much as we can from the shores as we go out.
Great. I know that Winnie was working on that as well. I will say that in the 5 days that you have between using the Redemption to sail around the island, using Sammy to fly around the island, and with your winged boots with Winnie as well, you all are able to get a pretty good detailed map of the island in total. You get a pretty good idea of how big it is, of where the waterways are, the fresh water, the thickest parts of the trees where it might be good to build. And you start seeing that there are animals that are able to come back, like birds are mostly coming back to the island at this point. Great. And Acacia, what are you doing with your week?
I was also going to help with the mapping internally.
Perfect.
But so I can assist with that as well in terms of just getting a good, like, more detailed other than what everyone can see from an aerial view. But I'm also going to be playing Island Doctor and keeping an eye on growth and the health of the island as well, and brainstorming on the type of climate that this is to bring in more mammals and replenish
Fantastic.
game. Because people are going to be living here.
Absolutely. Roll a nature check, please.
I don't have nature. I need some time to study nature.
Go. You know what? nature is one of those weird things where I think nature should be a wisdom check. Go ahead and roll me wisdom.
It can go both. I think it can go both ways depending on what it's being used for.
Do you have survival? We could use survival.
I got a 14 flat on nature, so it'll be okay. It's not worst.
Okay. 14 is still pretty good. What I think you're picking up with that, especially because you are closer to the ground, because you are paying attention. So looking at the general map of where Hillholm is, you are Hillholm and Undertoe. You are somewhat near the equator. It is going to be warm here year round. You're not really going to have a winter. It is going to be kind of, your traditional island paradise. So when you're looking at game, you're looking for things like, you don't want to bring sheep here. They will die of heat stroke. Pigs are going to be good. Cattle aren't going to be the worst thing in the world. When it comes to like huntable game, you're going to think of things with like thinner coats. Maybe even certain types of deer could be brought to the island. Not saying this is something you want to do, but there are cultures that hunt and eat lizards, different types of monkeys and apes. Those are potential as well. I would say you also know that there are certain creatures like axebeaks, which are native to some tropical islands, tropical birds as well, not necessarily something you want to hunt, but there are definitely, I would say that you would have a list of animals that are reasonable to bring to the island, and that would also reason that where you are is a great spot for fishing, crabbing, any type of like ocean life to sustain the island for food as well.
And I'm also doing health checks.
On people or on the island? On the island?
No, fuck the people.
Okay. I would say the island is it's thriving at this point. At least plant-wise. Obviously, like, fauna is lacking for obvious reasons. But plant life, the lily of the valley is, like I said, everywhere. I would say with a nature check, like 14, you would recognize the lily of the valley. Like, it just kind of pops back in your mind. You would know that it is beautiful, but also poisonous. So not a great thing to eat, but a nice thing to maybe, make a wreath out of.
I will grab sub to stow away.
Perfect.
Just
plenty to grab. Otherwise, health-wise, the water has cleared up. In areas where, tufts of grass can grow, it's growing higher. You kind of get the vibe that it's probably not going to be long before you'll see a soft storm roll through. There's going to be a decent amount of rain that comes through here. You're not going to get drowned out. Like, there's not going to be a raining season where you are right now. But yeah, I think, in general, the island is doing really well.
Good. And I will avoid specific people.
Fair enough. Okay.
By which I assume you mean Winnie and her questions about her potion.
No.
I know, I'm kidding.
Another Evangelial.
Yes.
You don't see much of Roland. Winnie, you would see Roland.
Perfect.
Because Roland does stay on the Redemption.
Making himself at home.
The days pass by.
Ooh.
And I would say, is there anything anybody want to do before the council arrives?
I would like to, once I determine how long the mirror will take, I would like to do a little alchemical work and craft myself a cloak of protection.
Okay. We established you have about 5 days. If you want to give me another roll, I would say at this point, intelligence or sleight of hand.
Yes.
We can look at how far you would get.
12 and 13 is 25.
Yes.
25 was actually the DC that I had in mind. So I would say that you are at this point about a third of the way done with this 4-foot mirror.
Your eyes must be so cross-eyed.
Oh yeah, she's got those
I know what you're talking about.
yeah, the glasses that
Jeweler's glasses.
Yeah,
Mhm.
a jeweler's loop, and then also And I'm using my, I'm swapping out my infusions from my trident to make this cloak of protection.
You can also put your potion back in your inventory.
Yes,
I will give it back.
Thank you.
Okay, are you partaking of that potion?
When does Acacia give it back?
Closer to the end of the when everyone's supposed to get here.
I think she'll resist until like that morning. What am I rolling?
Okay.
D100.
D100.
But she's gonna be like sitting in the Redemption with little Jeffrey in her room, like just sitting across the table from him, like, okay. It's gonna be fine, right? Like, Scarlet's not here. We're not gonna do it again. It's gonna be fine, right?
Winnie, before you do drink that, you do hear a knock at your laboratory/bedroom door.
She's gonna shove it under like a pillow.
Okay.
Hi, yes, hello. I'm here. Hi,
And
it's me, Winnie.
when you are you basically saying like it's okay to come in?
Yeah.
Okay. At your door is your brother, is Rollin.
Mm-hmm.
Because we've established that this is the morning that the council is due to arrive. And he opens the door and he kind of just like, he looks down, like down to where you aren't, and he goes, "Are you decent?"
Oh, yeah, I'm fine. I'm good.
You use that voice that you use whenever you're doing something you're not supposed to be doing. And I'm just worried that when I look up, you will have antlers or eyes on your hands or a 10-foot long tongue or just... You're normal?
Nope, I'm good. I'm normal.
Great.
I mean, as ever. Usual normal.
As it. Winnie normal. Listen, Winona, I wanted to come after letting things settle for a few days. I wanted to apologize to you first. I feel like things got heated in a way that they shouldn't have, and I feel like that is partially my fault. And as my blood, I feel like I owe the apology first to you for angering your friends and perhaps embarrassing you. And I'm very sorry for that.
I mean, normally I would say what are older brothers for if not to embarrass their little sisters, but yeah, that was kind of a big one. It's thank you. I don't want to say it's fine because this was kind of like a big one, but yeah, just
I realize I still owe apologies to the rest of your friends.
Oh, yeah. And look, I appreciate that you are thinking of other people while also thinking of yourself, but just you gotta there's like another step in there about thinking how they're going to interpret how you're thinking of them.
That is the step that I often forget, is the people component of things.
I know. But I love you anyway. And I appreciate you, like, I don't know, trying.
I will endeavor to do better in the future. And I feel like you and I still have a lot to talk about, and I want us both to be honest with each other going forward, but I don't want to have this conversation right now. Today is already going to have more than enough in it. But I want you to know that I don't want any harm to come to you, and I do care about you and your future and your overall happiness.
Are you okay? Are you going somewhere? Are you dying?
I'm trying, Winora. I am
but
trying.
that's the
and
sort of
it's-
thing people say when it's like the last thing they say before they like go off into the sunset. And
I'm hoping not to go off into the sunset, but I don't know how today is going to go.
okay, that's fair.
And so I wanted to, because I don't do it often enough, come to you as your sibling and tell you that I appreciate you and
when he says that,
and I care.
he appreciates her, she's gonna move towards him, and when he says he cares, she's just gonna give him a big ol' hug.
He does like the I don't know how to hug, just pat on like your shoulder, almost like pushing you off kind of pat.
Yeah.
And Jeffrey like hugs around his ankle like an ankle weight. Do you have all of your stuff just on display?
No.
Do you have all of your research out?
Some of it, not all of it. And like the Elder Shard would not be out. My paperwork on the Elder Shard would not be on top because it's not what I'm working on at the moment. Like it would technically probably be out, but there would be other paperwork on top of it. Little Jeffrey schematics, the mirror. Like I'm not putting the mirror away, you know, like it's 1,000 pieces, 10,000 pieces of glass. Like I'm not going to just like roll it up like a jigsaw puzzle. So that's out. And various and sundry other things, like probably the cloak I'm working on and boot schematics. I realize that's not a word you usually use with boots, but for Winnie's, she's got them. A random
so he
stuff
leans
like
out of the hug then, and like just leans over to the mirror and flips a piece around. You had that one wrong. And as he does, you also notice that he like nicks himself. God.
Don't let it
Sorry
get
about that.
infected. Otherwise you'll end up like Siren. And we can't have two of you running around.
Siren's issue is far more than an infection, Winora, and I'm doing what I can for that, but that is not my expertise. Still,
Well, you
I've
should still
found
drink
some.
this. She's gonna shove a it's a little elixir, like a flask is the word I'm looking for, and it is ruby red, with a little bit of sparkles in it because most of her stuff has sparkles in it, but then it has almost like boba like bumps of like white just kind of floating through there, and sometimes they like merge together, sometimes they don't. It's fine.
This should prove, if nothing else, that I am trying. And he'll like uncork the flask, and he will down it.
Cool.
What happens to?
He probably
Rowan?
Doesn't actually get.
Is this just red drink?
No.
Is this red drink with boba?
No. He gets. Oh shit! I have to roll for that.
You have a problem, Winnie. We've had so many interventions.
3, 6. He gets 10 temporary hit points. He gets. I assume he didn't lose any hit points and didn't come to me with any missing hit points, but he would regain them. I will roll for it if you want, but it was a healing potion is what I gave him. One of my healing potions, which is better than a regular healing one.
Duly noted. Not that cheap shit you get at Walmart.
No. This is name brand.
And he goes to leave.
Also, he goes blind for some reason. Weird.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's helpful.
Nope.
Are you still drinking your tonic of chaos?
Yes. Oh, what? Like he talked me out of it? No. She'll just do like a bye, love you, and then like shut the door behind him.
Look.
And then she's gonna lock eyes with little Jeffrey as she drinks it for a 77.
I'm an enabler.
Oh no.
What was did you say the number? 77. 77. Wow. Okay.
You know what it looks like
Roll-
to me is 2 L's. Which
Roll
is
twice using both effects. So give me 2 more rolls, please. If they are above 70, ignore them. And roll again.
33.
Okay.
These doubles. And 41.
33. And okay. 33. You are badly, but not dangerously, allergic to furred animals for 1d4 days. Go ahead and roll me a d4. Acacia is furred.
I was about to say, does that include me?
Well, that was a 1.
Okay, so you are allergic to acacia for 1 day and any other furred animals. That also goes for the tressums and Connery.
Oh no.
And the other one was 41.
Yeah, technically they're not animals.
At least you're not hugging Connery.
True. Winnie's gonna be way more respectful of Acacia's space than she probably usually is.
Give me another d4 roll, please.
Why is it so hard to roll? 2.
Winnie, I must say that there's a weird kind of carbonization to the tonic this time. You know, it's different every time. The flavor is different every time. It's like a Grimace milkshake. The flavor is kind of different depending on what you've had. So, like, when you kind of feel, that pressure in your chest that you get from drinking a carbonized drink, and you let out a little belch, and a fog cloud, a full spell class fog cloud emits from your mouth and fills your space. So you have created, even with the ventilation in here, you can belch a fog cloud for 2 days.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Your magic is telling you to take a break on this mirror.
Yeah, I think you're right. Is that that's after I've made my cloak though, right? Because I already added it to my inventory.
You made your cloak. Yeah, this is the last day. I figured, this is you and Roland both going to shore, as the Bloodhound has been spotted. For everybody else, the Bloodhound has been spotted. Acacia, as the longboat comes ashore from the Bloodhound. So Acacia, Scarlet, Proximus, if you're all back on the island, Winnie and Roland. Winnie, are you going to swim over, or are you going to take a longboat over?
No, I'll swim.
Okay.
And have little Jeffrey fly above the water, above me.
Roland takes a longboat because he's like that. So he will take a longboat from a couple of sailors. The longboat will go back, but he is on the island. Scarlet, you would see that the longboat from the Redemption does have Marcus aboard, as well as just a couple of other sailors who are bringing these people. And Acacia, because you would recognize these individuals, I feel like this music has a weird weight to it.
It's just very chill music, not like something cool coming music.
It's not terrible. Yeah, I'm not saying that necessarily these are all badass, but these are people that Acacia would absolutely recognize. So Acacia, first of all, you're going to see your dads. Darius and Curio are both on the longboat. You're going to recognize, and Winnie would also recognize, Brenna Sprinklet, who was the halfling owner of Plant Parenthood. She's a prominent business owner, prominent druid in the community as well. Acacia, you're going to note Jetsam Copperworth, who is a copper dragonborn, is a former pirate. He had one of the largest fishing fleets in Korra, and so they probably brought him along because he's stern businessman, but also knows if they're going to be setting up a port, if they're going to do fishing at all, he's going to be a good eye for that sort of thing. Laurel Delafour, she is a wood elf Damphir, so essentially a vampire. So you would see that she has her hood up. She isn't killed by the sun. Damphir aren't necessarily instantly killed by the sun, but they're not super big fans of it.
It's uncomfy.
Yeah. She has eyes that kind of glow from beneath the hood. Otherwise, wood elf stature. She's a former assassin, and you also know that she is somebody who can, without reading minds, know exactly what a person is thinking. She doesn't have a magical ability to do that, but there's so much experience and innateness to both her Damphir, her wood elf, her assassin abilities that allow her to kind of know exactly what a person is thinking at any given point. Kaila is also aboard. She is an Owlin. She was one of the prominent fences on Korra along with your dads, and also did a lot of banking for people on Korra, or at least managing their money. She knew how to invest properly. A lot of the city planning was done through Kaila, because again, it was kind of a whole community working together. If a building was going to get built, it was typically funded through the collected funds that Kaila collected. Person that Proximus would also recognize is Barca, who was the red tiefling with the big white beard and like white ponytail, who was the owner of Permanent Record, the tattoo shop. And he's a very experienced tattoo artist who kind of has a very artistic mind. Gustip is also there as a guest of your dad's, because if they're going to be talking to a wizard, they might as well have a wizard on their side as well. And lastly, kind of like hunched in the back of this longboat, is this very aged woman. Mama Madeline is kind of what she goes like, every variation of Mama or Grandma. She is a woman said to be as old as the city of Korra itself, if not older. And
how old is Korra? I forgot to ask that when you sent me this list.
Korra is probably as a city around 110, 115 years old. So she's probably not that old, but like she's up there in years. She's been around for a long time and knows most of the people. Actually, she knows everybody. She knew everybody in Korra. If you wanted something, to get done, you always asked her first. It was good to have her permission. She was wise beyond her years, which is saying a lot, and it had like the essential knowledge of the city and its people. So if they're going to have a council, she's going to be on it. Like if there was ever
best cookies.
Oh yeah. The grandma is not just an affectation. She is a very loving person who cares a lot for the people of Korra. All of these little criminals who all just needed somebody to guide them, and she could easily be this kind of Mama Barker sort of deal, where Ma Barker, where she's just like running this crime organization. She's not really. She's just a person who cares. Like if there was a governor of Korra, it was going to be Mama Madeline, just for her empathy and care. So anyway, those are the people that all come ashore. We can say that it's like midday at this point. You all are welcome to talk to any of them. It's kind of just posited that as the evening goes on, they'll set up some tables and chairs and kind of have the chat where Rollin will posit his point to them, and we can go from there. So, did anybody want to interact with any of these council members?
I would have met them at the boat and helped the shorter council members. So, Brenna, Gustip, and Mama Maddie onto shore.
Absolutely. Yeah, Gustip just hops right onto your back.
Yep.
Having done so before.
Yep.
Yeah, Brenna, absolutely. And then, very gently carrying Madeline to the shore. She has a cane, still pretty spry, I would say, physically. Still older, but she can make her way around.
She's going to be living much longer than Curio, is the way I've always assumed.
She's got like a pipe that she just puffs on. She's like, this is what keeps me young. It's marijuana. Anybody else?
Winnie is going to, I think the only one she really knows is Brenna, so just, she's staying out of the way. She has no real reason to be in the middle of this at the moment, so she's just, if she happens to catch Brenna's eye, she's just gonna be like, and maybe like point at Proximus and be like,
hello. How's that plant doing?
Gosh, I don't know. Is that to me, or is Proximus there?
Well, she doesn't know that you gave it to Proximus. She sold it to you.
Oh. That's a good question. Proximus, would Winnie have been allowed in your room at any point in the last, week?
I feel like Proximus forgot the plant with Constance. Because we were off the ship, then we came back on the ship, then we left the ship, then we came back to the ship.
But you left it with her, or?
Because she was plant sitting for me.
Oh, okay, that's good. Then
his eyes get wide, and he's like, it's doing great.
Fantastic. It's really hard to kill that plant.
Like near
Oh.
impossible. You could ignore it for like a decade, and it's just going to thrive.
Oh, that's good to know. Now, what kind of environment does it actually thrive in if it was not potted? If we put it maybe on the island, would it grow even more?
Very likely. The plant is actually native to areas near where the Shadowfell has incursions into the material plane. So it can really grow almost anywhere. It can nearly grow in a plane of absolute nothingness and despair. And so yes, if you give it sun and water or whatever else, it'll thrive for sure.
Oh, I will be right back. He's gonna go get that plant from.
I like. I'll be right back as the guy just goes off into the ocean.
Yeah, I'll be right back. I'm gonna go get that plant.
Excuse me, I'm gonna go drown myself.
I'm done with this conversation.
Right.
Okay. So I will say that the night goes on. Marcus does come up to you, Scarlet. It's great to see that you're doing well, ma'am. I had worried somewhat, I'll admit. I hoped you were. I'm glad that you're okay after your fight.
The next time I tell you to stay on the ship, please remind me about the Hydra situation. It's a long story.
Hydra situation. Regardless, it's good to see you, Captain.
Likewise, is my ship still in one piece?
She is, in fact, and he'll look out to where it is moored, further into the water. Fixed her up as best we could. She is shipshape.
Good. There's just awkward silence between the two of them. It's great.
Like two kids at a middle school homecoming, just like standing next to each other. So, did you see the new Doctor Who? Huh? Okay. And I will say, as the day goes on, Roland does come to each of your Proximus, being harder to find, having gone into the ocean. Roland does come to Scarlet first, and with Marcus standing there, nods to both of you. Scarlet, I wanted to apologize for what happened yesterday. Or, I'm sorry, earlier in the week, and I'm very sorry for the way things got heated, and I feel as if you and I have a lot in common, and I hope that we can come to common terms and work together.
Oh, do you also have shadowy voices talking to you in the back of your mind?
Scarlet, what's your passive insight?
Oh, my passive insight?
Yeah.
Oh, shit, it's only 13.
Okay.
What a way to start off a conversation, though. Way to fucking unnerve people.
13? Baby girl.
Not very wise, okay?
I guess, okay.
She lives her life off of her looks. Let's be real. The charisma's at 20.
Yeah, okay, that tracks.
I'm sorry for that situation. If you ever want help with that, I can see if there's something perhaps that I can do. I've done a lot of studying on the dark voices in people's heads.
Uh-huh.
We can absolutely leave it at that.
Can I
Anyway.
respond back in, like, Elder?
Sure.
I just respond back with, I'm not unpacking that with anyone. No.
And he responds back in Elder, we'll see about that.
What does Marcus's face look like with those remarks in a language that he cannot understand and has probably
Marcus-
never heard ever?
Marcus is like a person hearing French for the first time. And he's just like, Oh, okay. So we're all just talking made up. Cool. Let's get vushu. Yeah. All right. This is real cool for me, guys. Proximus, you fetch the plant. We can say that you make it back, and yes, you show off your black tongue was the plant to Brenna, and she kind of like looks at a couple of the leaves, flips them over, like wiggles her fingers and casts Druidcraft a little bit, and she goes, "There, it's just a little bit dehydrated. Weird being on a ship, but looks good. All things told."
So
Constance, what the hell?
I know, right?
Oh, I'm sorry, the infirmary doesn't have windows because of infection.
no windows.
She said dehydrated.
Seawater would probably not be good for this plant. But I do want to plant it on the island. I want to find a place to plant it on the island. So
Absolutely.
I would probably, what's the best place for me to do this? Up high or down low, near the beach? And she was, wherever she would say that would be best.
For this, almost anywhere, I would actually recommend, I think she had more of an Irish accent, I would almost recommend perhaps putting it near somewhere important to you, and perhaps somewhere where it could thrive, especially looking around and seeing all this white lily of the valley. It might make a stunning contrast to that, with this black and this white against one another.
Oh, yes. When she said the place that's important to me, I look at Winnie, Scarlet, and Acacia, and then he just moves. Well, thank you very much. Appreciate that.
And one other person is going to come up to Proxima at this point. Actually, two more, but Barca actually comes up, and no boundaries on this dude. Just puts a hand on your chest, and kind of just like holds it there for a second, and not looking you in the eyes. He has just these pale white eyes, just looking at the design that was put on you. He goes, "Looks like it healed up mighty well. It's some of Mento's work, ain't it?"
Yes, it is. And I've gotten 0 compliments on it, but I know that people probably know that there's a lot of craftsmanship. It means the most to me.
Getting hard on you ain't about what other people think. It's about what it means. He just kind of pats your chest. It means right in there. It's about what you carry.
Yes.
You carry this story, this artwork on you. Makes you artwork, son. And he's got tattoos like everywhere on his chin, neck. I mean, he's wearing a vest, and it's just all tatted up, all different types of designs on this red skin, just this black line work.
I appreciate that. I've never reframed that in that manner. I guess we are all artwork, and I am definitely a work in progress. So,
damn straight. Well, if things go right here, maybe you can get a touch-up sometime when you're in, hopefully, what's going to be a town.
That is definitely the plan here.
All right, then. Well, keep it out of the sun any more than you have to, and, moisturize. And I'll just kind of like pat your chest again and walk away.
Yes, thank you.
And then Roland will approach. Proximus, I am trying to do this person by person. I wanted to apologize to you for my behavior earlier in the week. This is not an easy thing for me to do, but my pride got in the way of things, and I overstepped boundaries, and I apologize for my rudeness.
Apologize accepted.
Fantastic. Goodbye.
He sticks his hand out, Proximus.
What is
that is?
I'm sorry. I've seen this. I've seen this before. And he will like kind of grab your wrist.
Mm-hmm. Yes,
check for
I grab.
knives.
Yeah.
All right.
I grab his forearm and I shake it once, and then I pull him in for a side hug. A real bro side hug. And pat him on the back, and I say, it was also difficult for me to learn these ways of the surface dwellers. And sometimes I think wires can be crossed because culturally we are much different than each other. So I think we are good. And I appreciate the thought that you are here to help Winnie out.
Family is important.
The one that you share with the similar father and mother, and then the ones that you choose to be with for the rest of your life. There is a great family that we have on both ends, and the blood is thicker than water is very, very true. But here we are. I'm just one side of the other side of the family. So you are too my brother.
For the elves, blood and water are almost the same thing. We need both. So,
Absolutely.
80s. I have another brother already. It's nice to have. Well, you're actually very similar to Sira now that I think about it. That'll make it hard at holidays, but I'll try my best.
Don't feel like you need to give me a gift. Your friendship and your...
Thank you. That's the worst.
But
just give money. It's so much easier.
I would say just give your time to Winnie. She has been away from home, and as long as you are here for the right intentions, then we are here to support also.
Thank you, Proximus. I need to finish my rounds. And Acacia, where would Roland find you? Would you be with your dads? Would you be alone?
I would have said hi to Dad's,
Okay.
but at this point, I think when he comes to look for me, I think I'm talking with Laurel.
Okay. So yeah, Dad's absolutely big hugs. Curio has gone to chat with the workers and is kind of showing off his, like, especially to the metal workers, is showing off his new frame. And Darius is just standing there like at like the partner at the barbecue that's like, you're embarrassing. You're embarrassing to be around. You're not just embarrassing me, you're embarrassing yourself.
But he doesn't care.
He's the one that's like showing off the apron that's like, Kiss the Cook, but also it's a Star Trek reference. Yeah. And yes, so talking to Laurel, Laurel is, I would say, is also an Evewalker. A lot of Evewalkers are thieves, but absolutely, there is like the branch of them that are the wetwork people, the assassins. And she comes up to you. She is wearing her badge kind of on her cloak with her hood, and has been chatting with you for a minute. And
I do want to say I trust her as like her. I trust her and her experience and how she is able to read people very well. I want to give her just explain the whole situation, at least after the Hydra, and
yes.
If she wouldn't mind later, I would love to hear her opinion later.
Absolutely.
Thoughts.
Yes. Yes, I will. We can absolutely do that. So Roland approaches. I'm really sorry if I could interrupt briefly. And Laurel turns, like, eyes like literally illuminated under the hood, just piercing into them with like this little grin on her face. And Acacia, you have a high enough perception. There's like a look where he looks her in the eyes and then like immediately looks down, like won't make eye contact with her. Instead looks up to you. I have to imagine that this is like where the sun is behind you. It's hard to look up at you. And so he's doing his best. Acacia, I wanted to come and apologize. I have made my apologies to everyone else, and I felt like you were the most important one, aside from Winnie, that I needed to make this apology to. I feel that I overstepped, and you made it abundantly clear that I did not make the most considerate actions, and I wanted to say that I'm very sorry for that, and I wanted to tell you that I am trying to do my best, that I absolutely do have my own goals in mind, but that hopefully doesn't undermine the overall good that I'm trying to do. And I really hope that you and I can work together and work towards each other's goals. I feel that you and I have similar goals from what we've discussed recently, and I don't want to ruin that partnership. So I am very sorry, and if I can do anything in the future, I hope that you will not hesitate to ask. And you do not owe me anything, but I did want to say that.
Acacia's like definitely keeping a flat, neutral face, just staring down at him.
And you're looming, like you're
yeah.
in shadow, sun behind you. Yeah.
Like, I am using my height to my absolute advantage.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that I am taller and much bigger than him.
He's looking at all the knives. He's looking at the fucking stick.
I don't actually have that. I have like one knife. I have a knife and a stick, and at least that's always on me that can be seen.
Fair enough. Okay.
I don't have a lot. But I stare down at him and I don't answer for a bit, probably a little longer than necessary. Answer me this, and I won't be mad at whatever the answer is. Are you apologizing just because you are sorry, or because you want to save face and smooth things over for your own agenda?
Acacia, I am in doubt that true altruism actually exists. If we do anything for good, expecting to get something good out of it in the future, does that negate the goodness of the thing? If we pray to a deity in the hopes it will get us into some sort of divine afterlife, does that negate the prayer? I will say that I am sorry for the way that things went. It is not what I intended, and I understand that I hurt the feelings of not only my sister, but the people that my sister considers family. That is never my goal, and that is something that hurts me. So, in a way, because I was hurt by my own actions, I'm apologizing to you to prevent that hurt in the future. If that is not altruistic, I understand, but that is the purpose. I hope not to hurt you, because by hurting you, it hurts me.
You could have just said in the second option in far less words. And with
What
that,
then would
I just walk past him, dump the conversation.
Laurel just like stands there for a minute, and then she kind of just like presses a finger into his chest and like pushes herself off of it and walks towards you. So to finish up that interaction, as you go walking on the beach, leaving Rollin in your sandy trail, she looks up, she goes, "That was very entertaining to watch."
Which part? Him fumbling or me not giving a shit?
All of it, really. I enjoyed little interactions like that. People are rarely that upfront to each other.
What
It's
do
just
you
nice to see.
What's your take so far? I know he's gonna have a lot more to say, but first impressions?
First impressions, he does not know how to be a person.
Oh,
at all.
Absolutely.
No, he thinks he's the smartest person in the room. And he might be.
Sure, he probably is.
Sure, that doesn't make him good at it. He knows a lot of things that books told him. He knows nothing about the way the world actually is.
No, absolutely not.
I feel like he is hiding something, but it's something really deep, and I'm not sure even he knows he's hiding it. It's just the way he holds himself. It's like there's more confidence there than there should be, but also a weight. Like something's weighing on his shoulders. It's the body language is off.
That could be a million different things.
It could be.
Well,
There's something about smart people. They tend to know secrets and things that weigh on them, especially in a world that has a trillion things that could kill us or end all of existence at in a moment's notice. Wizards.
Yes, wizards. Well, that type of wizard. Goose Step is not that type of wizard. I'll take a Goose Step any day. You think? I have my gut feelings, but think it's you think things would go awry on a day-to-day basis if we were to utilize each other's information and talents if we worked with them?
I don't think awry. I'd be surprised if he interacted with anyone else on a day-to-day basis. It sounds like he just wants a place to hole up and be a weird little hermit and learn his secret little things.
He wants his own quote-unquote wizard's tower.
Okay. I mean, I don't get the vibe off of him that he's trying to become a lich or anything like that. I certainly don't smell blood on his hands, literally or figuratively.
Well, when I say wizard's tower, I mean sitting around being in cloister doing your own wizard research stuff.
Do you know what he's researching?
Yes. But it's currently private information because we're trying to use each other.
That's fine. I don't need to know. Do you think he could... Do you think he would... I will ask you this. Do you think he would be more helpful or harmful with this information?
Helpful. Which is why I haven't stabbed him yet.
Valid. In that case, let him build his tower if it's going to be helpful. I'm not saying, use people, but, use people.
You can say it.
He's far from harmless. He has more magic in him than he knows what to do with. But that's not a bad thing in a scenario where we could use magic. One thing Korra never really had were a lot of really talented wizards. And especially if we are going to make this our home, a place that a powerful wizard has investment in is a place where we are safe from invasion. A wizard's tower is not a thing that pirates like to see when they are attacking a city. It means probably a big loss to them.
I know you're right. I know the right thing is to work with him for everyone's goals, but him not being able to people is a big frustration that we'll have to forward across. I know.
He's working on it, it sounds like.
At least he was honest with why he was apologizing. If he was just saying, I'm totally sorry, I would have probably stabbed him. But I'd rather have someone who is upfront than continuously trying to flit around and avoid the question.
Okay. I would say if he's going to be a better people elf, it might take, dragging him clawing tooth and nail to get there.
I don't care if he has to take notes, but he's going to have to learn how to people pretty quick if he wants to interact with people here, and has to. If anything, he needs to go out and buy food.
Maybe we can find him a book on that. How to make allies and impact associates or something like that.
How to get through the day of a life of an average person.
There we go.
I'll write him a quick 500-page summary. All right, I'm going to get going. I want to just do some quick errands before the whole thing starts. Thank you.
She nods. Of course, anytime. That is a good place to take our break. So when we come back, we're going to have the Council of Korra, which corresponds councilary. They've got conundrums, other things. Anyway, stick around. We'll be back in about 10 to 15. Go ahead and do the things, pet your pets, buy bricks, all that kind of cool stuff. And we'll be back. Stick around. Vast and welcome back to Horizons Call, everybody. Welcome back. We're going to jump right back into the game. But before we do, I just want to say, if you do want to support this cast, this wonderful group of people, you can do so through our Pally. You can see it in chat. But Pally evenly distributes anything you are able to give between these wonderful people and our crew, and directly supports them in a way that giving through Twitch just really doesn't. So definitely, if you do appreciate this game, if you do appreciate these players, how could you not? Please consider giving through Pally, and if you do, at certain levels, you can also impact our game as well. That all said, let's get back into it. So, the day goes on. Evening begins to kind of, build. I would say that occasionally noting that the storm clouds are coming through. It's not necessarily going to storm tonight. You're not getting that smell. Especially being near the ocean, you can tell when it's going to rain. It's not probably tonight, but the clouds are making it darker earlier than it has been for a number of days. And tables are set up. Some torches are set just in case, things do get darker as time goes on. And they're set up almost in a U shape. This is very much Shark Tank sort of deal where Roland is going to be presenting his thing. And you have the assembled members. They almost sit, we'll just say for the sake of ease, they sit in the order that I kind of introduced them. So Darius, Curio, Brenna, Jetsam, Laurel, Kylene, Mama Madeline, and Barca, and Gustup at the far end. And I will say that the chairs are all like the same, so Gustup kind of like stands on his, just to get his chin over the table. Roland stands before all of them. You all are, this is not like a private thing. You all are technically the owners of this island. But you have asked the council here to kind of like, hear them out, have their say. So you all can be there absolutely as well. Chairs can be provided should you want. And Roland stands in his wizard robes, trying to make himself look as presentable as possible, hands folded in front of him, his small glasses, pressed up all the way on his nose. As I understand it, you are the Council of Korra that is here to decide what is to be done about my proposal for this island, the island of Undertoe. Which also, as I understand it, doesn't necessarily need to have that name anymore. Should you ever want to change that. But that is another issue entirely. A few days ago, I proposed to a group that you all should be somewhat familiar with, that I just go ahead and build you a new city. And all I ask in return is a little building for myself. And I was informed that that is not the right thing to go about, or not the right way to go about things. And so I'm coming to all of you now and saying, I would like to build you all a place to live. It will not be palatial. It will not be fancy. It will offer the opportunity to build for yourselves and make a new home and life for yourselves, but I will not provide everything to you. I simply don't have the resources. My altruism, of course, hampered by my request for something for myself, and yet I hope that regardless, the altruism can still somewhat be seen. I am offering to build homes for all of the Korran refugees. Simple homes, mostly with just whatever you would need. They would be easy enough to add on to and improve and adapt as needed. I am offering to build a dock. I am offering to build several places of business on request. I don't know exactly what business type people you have. It was under my impression that, from what I know about Cora, from what I know about my sister, Winora, and her friends, that likely this town might be a good place for privateers and pirates to fence their goods, and for that to be perhaps a good stopping point, especially being this close to the island of Hillholm. Again, that is a presumption, but that is what I'm offering. I have the funds and I have the workers here to provide within 2 weeks' time sufficient living space for foreigners, I have been informed, and for the potential that there be more individuals that could come, not just from Cora, but from Hillholm, from Axia, from Anoth, from other places as well. This is a rather big island for 80 people. I understand there is also a monastic temple of sorts that existed near the center. I am fully willing to rehabilitate that building and provide what infrastructure I can, of course, all based on funding. But that is what I am proposing. Thank you. I am going to open it to all of you. You kind of know the people that are gathered. From their perspective, what questions, what answers would they want? What questions would they ask? What questions would your characters ask?
I am going to start off with a statement to everybody, mostly to the Corins and Rollin. Anything that is to be done with the monastery is in the jurisdiction of Brigid. And anything that she is the last surviving member of the monastery and should be involved in any and all decisions as well as the final decision. Also, don't forget your souvenirs.
And Gustup goes and sets little butt mugs. Like walking along the table, just disperses.
There's one for you, and one for you, and two for you.
Who did you give two? Who did you give two to?
I
Rollin?
Let's roll for it.
Rollin.
I was gonna say it might be Curio because they I'm sure they're all custom, and so Curio has the old frame and the new frame. They're just different.
Yes, I love it.
Kylie looks over hers. Crude,
But charming.
but charming. Yes.
Winnie is just listening for the moment, but is about as far away, equidistant as possible from Acacia and anyone else here with fur. Just
That's right.
Yeah, Winnie, your eyes itch a little bit. There's just like
yeah,
you keep
definitely
stopping from sneezing. Yeah. You have that horrible thing where you need to sneeze, but you just can't. No.
The worst.
Okay, I am going to go down the list here and see if I can. Any questions anybody would ask on Darius's behalf?
The most, at least from the way I've done it, is like, I know that the correct and most logical decision is to accept the help. But the thing was doing it before any of the Corins here had a say. So it was more so just to make, from what I've been looking at, and the way that it was discussed last year, it was like, is this amenable? Is this okay? And then figuring out where everyone else is going to be involved as a group in terms of like planning and how everything is going to be arranged. Because the way he would want it would be arranged, especially since he's from a freaking underwater city, might not make the most sense from someone
Sure.
who has been living on land the entire time.
And I feel
And that's why
like,
he hired dwarves and humans for that. So he's not here for city planning. This is also for you all to say, here's something specific I want about this town. I want a fountain at the center. I want a tavern that's named this. This is for all of you to kind of say, are we naming this New Cora? Are we keeping the island name of Undertoe? How
I
many
would like a
ships do we
bar
want
that
to
is
dock?
called the Sword Hole. Yes.
The Sword Hole.
Yes. No, that's
No,
it's
too late
from
now.
from an old campaign.
It's already down.
The Sword Hole.
I feel like if not Darius, probably Curio. Just because we seem to be starting with them, and I can't imagine it would get further than them. One of them is probably likely to ask or suggest, like, there needs to be a document that is signed here. Like, we are the owners. None of us are officially qualified to draft this sort of paperwork. I'm looking at, like, all of Winnie's, like...
I would ask then, you all were given essentially a deed to the island. You all were given something by the king and queen. Who has that? I can't remember.
I think also it would be best to officially sign it over instead of the 5 of us to the council.
I think putting it into some sort of
Board of Trustees.
trust. Yeah, because we don't want to...
Not just us 5 random pirates.
Right, but we also don't want to, especially because we're not going to be there a lot of the time, but we also don't want to, like, cut ourselves out of... Winnie, at least, is not going to cut herself out of decision-making. Whether or not she ever votes is a different...
Right.
You could actually sign it to...
Vote.
You could sign it to the people of New Cora, or whatever you want. That way, it's
Like,
kind of a democratic sort of deal.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Entrusted to the spirit of New Cora.
Yeah, but either way, like, so that's the bigger document that needs to be dealt with. But
We should
also
probably get an
this-
actual lawmaker in on that.
Yeah, but also
Or a document
like,
a lawyer.
yeah, but also like, this whole situation with Rollin, like, what he gets in exchange for what the Corans and what the 4 of us get, like, there needs to be like a separate second document for that as well, like a legally binding. Never mind that this is like a pirate island that currently doesn't have any law enforcement. It's neither here nor there. There needs to be contracts is all I'm saying, and I can't imagine it would take long enough to get around to Winnie for someone to say that. But that's...
Yes, in fact, I did have one of the dwarves from Axia is very fluent in Damaris law, legalese. Yes, he is. He has his. I keep forgetting the word. Where do you get the little stamp? You can approve things. Notary. I always forget it's called notary. Yes. This is.
Damaris's #1 real estate agent.
This is Axia's resident notary, whose name I'm going to pull out of my little book
Notary
of
Jones.
names.
Love him.
Yeah, the
God.
dwarf Notary Jones.
It's not a bad name. I might steal that.
Well, it's just like calling someone, like, well, it said Axe Grinder Jim, and then I was like, nobody is. It's like Arson Greg, right? Like, that's his name. Obviously, he wasn't born with it. Well,
Modi Steel
That's
Skull.
what you think.
Modi Steel Skull is an older dwarf with lots of runes braided into his white beard, who kind of just comes over with little stamp thing, goes, I know every law that's ever been written. And just stares at no one.
He just looks like he's seen the face of a god. Great.
I can recite the laws of gods and men.
That's terrifying. So ominous.
Insight. Does he seem legitimate? And or how much PTSD are we talking? And has
He's seen the laws of gods. He's sitting there saying, a lot of gods really don't like spitting. It's weird.
Okay, so,
But no, he's legit. Yeah.
first probably would be contracts between, I mean, because he's here, like, Rollin and his funding and, like, negotiating between him and, like, the rest of the island, I guess.
So what I'm asking for is a portion of the island in which I can essentially build a somewhat fortified area of which I will take part of for my research. The rest of the fortified area can be used for the defense of this town and this island, and
Let's
it
talk
will be subject.
measurements.
We
so
can
many
figure out
reasons.
measure- We can figure out percentages and measurements after we've discussed what is needed.
He's mostly just saying he's going to be subject to the laws
Yes.
of Korra. He is not going to be a dictator. He is going to be a citizen, the same as
He's
everybody
going to be a
else.
hermit.
Yeah, probably.
Which is great.
Wizard hermit. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
also, and I'm not saying Winnie necessarily is saying this, but someone would be like, well, we're not going to just blanket give you some amount of land without saying it caps out at X amount of space.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you all have,
Yeah.
like I said, a much larger island than even
Oh,
just
yeah.
a city would occupy. You could probably have,
Yeah.
I mean, tightly packed. This would probably, you could maybe have like 4 decent-sized towns.
I'm just saying
that would
democratically,
all be
he
like-
doesn't get like 40 acres for his little hermitage.
If
No.
he wants, he can just go in the middle of the woods and build a wizard's tower, and that's fine with me.
Yeah, yeah. I'm just saying it has to be on paper.
Anyway,
But at the very least, I will ensure for defenses as well as a dock to make sure that you all can conduct business here.
I think the most important part is getting the basics of a city, a small town up and running. So that is food, shelter, and probably a couple larger buildings for general use for everyone. So that would be an inn, and then maybe some shop fronts so we can get a general store up and running, a butcher, etc., etc. Well, butcher after we get game back on here.
Absolutely. As the great wizard Maslow and his pyramid of needs would say. Yes, we will absolutely have physiological needs, safety and security. I cannot financially, legally, as far as I'm aware, provide for love and belonging or self-esteem. I feel like if I was certain buildings could provide both, I'm not funding those. And self-actualization is on all of you.
It's more of what is going to keep people alive and set them up for the future, and that's all that I'm
In with the
concerned
kitchen.
about.
Smithy for crafting stuff.
Which,
Boats.
to that point, several of these craftsmen are willing to...
Relocate.
They are. As I understand it, your main smith person, Centaur...
He's busy
Yes.
exploding Nereians.
So we do have craftspeople that are willing to stay. Again, if you are looking to populate more of the island, there are always craftspeople looking to relocate for work. Axia has almost filled to the brim with metalworkers. A lot of dwarven metalworkers.
And we also need boats. Fishing
shipwrights.
boats. Fishing boats to start.
Sure.
And
Hey,
You do know you still have at least one shipwright.
I was just gonna say,
but
which
that's
shipwright
one
survived,
person.
like the but he can teach others.
He can
if need be,
design.
but
Ah,
You really only need like one person to design. Everybody else, you just need workers. So that's the other thing that's happening.
thank you, Mitch. Also getting fresh water and well sources all set up.
Oh yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, you do have access to fresh water with the lake at the center.
Well, so then like.
Irrigation, wells, absolutely.
Yeah.
Like I said, you have all the workers to establish all that kind of stuff. That's the fine print kind of stuff.
Let's
I'm
just,
looking for like the specifics.
Yeah, I was gonna say let's assume that we covered like the capital I important life-giving stuff.
Yeah,
And
there's
anything-
contractors with the checklist of this is what we need to have: water, toilets, not near the water, food.
Yeah.
And I think that's everything that's important on my list, because we could figure out the fencing part later. Because last thing I want is getting any piratey illegal secret rooms on blueprints.
Oh yeah.
So that's going to be added later.
Meanwhile, Winnie's
For
like,
sure.
but we don't even have the animals yet. Why would we need fencing?
Oh, I'm not saying that part out loud.
Yeah.
No one else needs to know that.
I assumed that was something Acacia and her dads would like.
They know, as well as like half of the council, at least. Proximus and Scarlet, is there anything you all wanted specifically besides the necessities?
Especially considering this is going to be like essentially home base for you all. What are the things that you're looking for? Like, does Winnie want a lab? Do you all want specific types of homes? Okay.
Yeah.
So that's something to include as well. That's something to maybe include with the fortifications that Rollin's asking for. So yes, I'm sorry, Scarlet and Proximus, specific things that you might be looking for.
I would like a hostel type building for people
when we can torture
who-
people, sure.
No.
Okay, Scarlet, forgive us for assuming the.
You're
I want a
right.
dungeon.
The eater of souls. Yes.
Scarlet doesn't eat them.
I know.
She just dooms them to be eaten.
She's more like the
She's the sous chef.
The wait staff of souls. Yeah.
No, a hostel type building for people to freely come and go when they need a space.
Sure. Tavern, absolutely.
But mostly free.
Yeah, I was gonna say, as opposed to
It's
like
more-
the inn, which is you pay for
Yeah.
a certain level of service.
I
This is
understand.
more like
I don't want to say
Cheap, but
refugees,
good.
but like refuge for people who are seeking shelter type of deal.
Sure.
Oh, also, Eva made a really good point in chat earlier with the potential observatory.
oh yeah.
Yes.
I also want like maybe a lighthouse or like a tall tower.
Okay.
Do you want a rival tower to Rollins? And you each just kind
No.
of keep adding levels.
No.
Like some sort of weird golden
I just-
age New York.
I just want to be up somewhere high.
Mhm.
Somewhere high. That's not Rollins' place if he does actually get like
wanna
a
be
tower.
with. Okay, sorry.
I mean, a lighthouse is probably a good idea for a couple of reasons.
I will say that that's definitely something that will be done. Rollin is just to kind of give you guys this. Rollin is looking to build a more of like a wizard's like mini castle than necessarily tower. It will have a tower to it that will have an observatory as well as lighthouse, because a lot of lighthouses are specifically on like smaller islands off the coast to be like, hey, beware of rocks. You all are near enough to Hillhome that like if people are sailing to your shores, they're doing so on purpose. They're not going to get
Okay.
they're not going to get stuck where you all are.
Then maybe more
Um,
like a defensive tower that's not inside his property.
Yes, yeah. He, like I said, he's looking to set up defenses where you all could technically have a closed-in dock. He could at least set up like a seawall for all of you to have some defenses, and that is something that maybe you all could even add to later. You know, some pirate defenses of the age even included like scuttled ships. They would actually bring them on land because they already had the cannons on them. They already had the defenses, and then you'd just have an entire broadside where you could fire cannons. So yes, that's something to add on because that's a little bit more than the essentials.
Yeah.
So I think as the island kind of grows, we'll work towards that. But I like that. Okay. Then we can say that kind of going down the line and having everybody kind of gathered here. Curio.
Proximus would want
Please.
something.
Yeah.
Just everything is above land, and just to make it as inclusive as possible, is there a way that we can make a safe haven below the water that we could maybe house people that coming to and from, and I can come up with designs from my own tribe that we had under the water, built into coral and rock. But he kind of looks around. I guess this would be for more visitors than anything, but it would be nice to have.
Maybe like an aquatic inn as well.
I was
Yeah,
going to
aquatic
suggest,
hostel.
because I wanted Winnie's little house to be like her mom's, where it's like there's an upper layer and a lower layer. And I think that's brilliant, because I was going to say, like, if there's a seawall or something, like where there's like cliffs that just go down, like maybe you've got the upper bit and then
We
like
could just
under the
build
water.
right in, yes.
Yeah.
With walkways in between. So if people wanted to come down.
I feel like at this point you kind of have laid out your map of the island, since you're talking about the specifics, and the dwarves are starting to come over and go, oh, right, no, of course, right here near the watershed would actually be a perfect point. We've taken depth readings, and it's perfect for your kind of amphibious type of
right,
housing.
Yes. That's great. Yes.
We'll have to contract out, because none of us can hold our breath for that long, but...
I can help with
see,
that.
maybe...
I can supervise, and I can help with that also. Yeah.
When you say supervise, they all kind of look at you and they go, a white hot, eh?
No. Not. I won't be sitting in the truck with the AC while you do
Where
the work.
union,
I will be
son.
helping. Yeah.
I want to mark out a spot for a place for me, because I will need different sizing than the medium-sized folks for houses.
Vaulted
You get a couple of
ceilings.
bugbears that look at you and go, I get it. I understand.
I think in whatever like contract we do draw up between us and the Corins, in part of like the trust, the like land trust situation, like they're, and I'm sure they would get it, but also just like legally, like there always has to be like a certain amount of like open space, like for Acacia to run, and also just like so it's not just people wall to wall anyway. But
So going down the line here, Darius is pretty silent throughout a lot of it, especially kind of like he smiles when Acacia is going through all of the necessities and just nodding along with that. Curio's big question is, okay, so you want a wizard tower. Are you going to be blowing anybody up, casting fireball at any of the citizenry, or pursuing any type of dark magics and or lichdom?
And if shit hits the fan, will you be protecting this place along with the Corins?
Roland kind of like is taken aback a little bit. I will not be casting fireball at any citizenry. I am more than happy to protect anyone who lives here, as I will be a citizen myself from any type of invasion. I am not looking to be a dictator, nor am I looking to pursue lichdom in any way. And I will inform you if I am considering it. Is that good enough? Okay. Brenna is mostly concerned with kind of like maintaining the balance between, kind of to Acacia's point, maintaining the balance between nature and also like any type of agriculture. She noted, especially like walking around, that there's some really good planting areas towards the center, but also like this is a pretty vibrant forest, and wood is a valuable commodity, one that they don't really want to like squander all at the same time. So her proposal is to set up areas where the forest is maintained, while also having, again, open areas where people can actually appreciate the forest without being overburdened. She is willing to take on making sure that they have the right type of fauna and flora for the island, and taking over agriculture. And she also presents that she does have a seed bank from her plant shop. So she has plenty of fruits and vegetables and exotic things too, depending on what could grow here.
For my initial list, my rudimentary list went right to her.
Perfect. Jetsam is willing to take over the building of the docks, as well as overseeing the immediate fleet of fishing vessels and making sure that any type of like supplementary kind of fishing is provided. Laurel is mostly just kicks her feet back, like hands behind her head, just kind of like looking left and right, a little bit of a smile. Every now and then Darius will kind of like lean back and look at her, and she'll just nod. And he'll look back. It seems like they kind of have a similar thought going on. Kaila is looking over. Roland did bring his books, his ledgers, as far as economical and the money that he's spending. So she's just flipping through those and kind of just making sure the numbers line up. Barca is just making sure that, businesses are where they need to be. He actually has an interesting question. I'm wondering, what kind of temples you gonna build? Like the gods and whatnot. You building statues to anybody? Who are we honoring when it comes to this city? What memories are we building in this place that ain't got nothing but bad ones so far?
That's a very good question.
Winnie freezes as there's like just the memory of the hole and Eula's like sunken statue, and it's just like small horror show in her mind. Who was the monastery honoring? Or
no gods in particular.
No
the
gods,
the
just spiritual focus.
I want to say Skyreach Monastery, although I think let's see how close I was. Cloudseeker, way off. Yeah, that's kind of similar. The Cloudseeker Monastery was mostly for orphans and like people who didn't know their place in the world, who were looking for like a higher calling, a higher purpose. And you're actually pretty close to Dionysi. It's worth pointing that out too. This is a different branch of monastic tradition, which mostly sends like when the monks reach a certain talent level, they are sent out to enact good in the world and can kind of return back. But there is no like deific paragon of the monastery.
Were there any?
Anyway, I'm just sorry. Please.
This is Derek question. Were there any temples in Korra?
I didn't have any ever written down. I think a lot of people had like little shrines in their homes, but since there's not really like a lot of like great gods of thievery, there's kind of like there's Mask, there's a couple others, but I feel like a lot of people, if they were going to pray to that, they were still active thieves, and a lot of people had left that behind. It's like, I'm not going to pray to this person if I'm not looking for the the shadowy hand to actually help me out. But yeah, people would pray to like Tamora was a big one for luck, but there weren't any big statues. The main statues in Korra were of Caliban and Korra at the town center. So it's kind of up to you all if you even want, again, if you want to keep it named Korra, New Korra, if you want to have that legacy there, considering it doesn't have that attachment to even the person it was named after.
Winnie votes for a fresh start.
I think that's something we really need to grow into and not just set something up willy-nilly.
Well, and that doesn't need to be necessarily decided at this meeting.
Yes.
Anyway,
Maybe just a general one, just for everybody. I just figured it was an important question. People, especially when people are down and out, they care about the people they pray to.
I think a general one is a good idea because you're right. Faith goes a long way, and taking that away from folks can be very deflating.
Mikyl, I will offer to you. Does Gustav have any questions?
I think Proximus had a question. I think he would like a persona statue that was maybe below water. That would be, similar to what he came across on the island when he made his yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Gustav. What would Gustav want? This is a session 0 question.
This could be a spell duel. I mean, if Gustav's looking to like show off, like, can you see through this illusion?
I think we just need a good port, where people can come in and I can steal from them. I mean, borrow things from them, and then they can go along their way, never to know again.
He's so money motivated.
Can I submit that I think with this meeting at hand and with Gustav going, I don't think I'm part of this role if it's necessary, but even though he's not part of it, maybe Edgar would have slipped a note into Gustav's pocket at some point. I don't know what his motivation
this just
would be,
in.
even if it's just like the otter equivalent of this on paper.
News flash. Hold on. Let me read this. It is an otter. Otteries.
If any two people know thieves can't, it's those two weirdos.
What does the note say, Winnie? What is Edgar trying to get across? Does it just say kill everyone? Is it just like bring otter treats?
Otter treat
Is it like a
stations
coupon
every
to a
block.
defunct bookstore? I mean, like what?
Right.
With that, I would like to give a very healthy warning to everyone that is not Corin. Do not fuck with the otter. I will specifically give a very stern, hard look at Rollin. Like, if you fuck with this otter, you're going to regret it, and I will have nothing to do with it.
Well,
I will have signs posted.
Beware of otter.
And Edgar's not here, right? Like,
No.
Yeah,
Well, he's on the well, no, I guess you left him. You left him with the Corins.
yeah, last
So no,
we heard
Edgar
he
is-
was in Fallen Realm.
Last time on Edgar the Otter.
Yeah, I just
We need a side story
Character-wise-
with Edgar.
I feel like yes, Edgar's adventures. Yeah, it's just something mildly threatening to Gustav, whether it's worth passing on or not. I feel like he needs that.
Okay.
A threat?
Keep him on his toes. Okay. Sorry, one second. I'm gonna clear my throat into the microphone. The last person to speak, and I think like after like everything is almost concluded, the last person to speak is Mama Madeline. And she has been sitting there with, you know, a shawl kind of tucked around her as the night has been coming. It's been getting a little cooler. And she leans forward. Everybody goes silent. I'm very happy to see that the end of one thing does not mean the end of all things, that we can move forward and find a new home, and that people of Korra aren't lost just because the foundations of Korra are lost. A lot of you know me. You know, I've been around for quite a while. There's a lot of things that go missing in time. There's a lot of things that people forget, things that fall by the wayside, things we just don't really need anymore. And sometimes that's places, and sometimes it's names, sometimes it's lots of things. When my grandmother established the city of Korra, and my grandfather took his ship apart and made the first building in that place, and they made their home, they had a vision in mind. And that vision was a place where people could leave their lives behind and find new homes, new purposes, freedom. And I think that's a beautiful thing, and I hope that is the foundation of this new home for us. A place where my grandfather never stood, but perhaps we can honor his spirit and what he stood for. And she looks to Rollin, she goes, I know you have your own deal, little man, but it's not a bad deal you're offering. Do right by these people, and they'll do right by you. And don't fuck us.
Derek, is Caliban her grandfather? Is that known?
It's one of those things that, like, I think Curio and, like, the older members of the city might know. Like, even Darius, I don't think necessarily knew that. Like, even when Darius was a kid, a half-elf, like, even when he was a kid, it was just Mama Madeline, you know, Granny Maddie. Like, they just didn't talk about her last name. She didn't make it a big deal. because that was kind of, to her, that was the point, is like Caliban was never the mayor, he was never the governor. You know, he named a place after his wife, but even then it became a thing that was bigger than just her. So she never wanted like her family connected to it, because then everybody's going to think that she's some sort of like, you know, royalty. And that wasn't the point of Cora.
It's the first time I'm hearing of it. Damn.
Yeah.
Love that.
Yeah, for Acacia, that would definitely be a reveal. And he looks to the assembled council. Kaila looks up, closes the ledger, just nods. Everything seems in order. Brenna nods. Curio, Darius, Laurel. Gustup's just doing like prestidigitation.
I love
So
him.
he's the kid in the back of the class with ADHD. Yeah, Barca. Everybody seems in agreement. Are all of you in agreement?
Yes, definitely.
Yes.
Okay. Then Modi Steel Skull presents a piece of parchment, draws out the contract, draws out essentially it's not even really, I guess it's kind of a town constitution. You know, you're constituting a town. Its constitution score is 10. It will get higher. And basically leaves it for everyone there to sign, all under the spirit of, and kind of like leaves the town name blank. So you all are founding parents of this place.
After we sign, I do want to just like pipe up and just in general, like, I would just like, whatever it is named, I would like to not have it be New Cora. It's one, I think new, old renaming of towns is tacky, but also it's not Cora.
They all just kind of nod. Make a new place, absolutely. Okay. So you all sign. I will say a second contract is presented as well. Roland goes, we'll work on this one, but absolutely we will come to an agreement as far as space and the sharing of resources and all that. But yes, I will say that there's very little that I'm going to say is just mine. Let's see. Great. Okay.
We have a
It
town,
is-
y'all.
You have a town. And I will say with that,
An
Roland
island.
nods to all of you. Building will commence in the morning. I will let the work crews know. And 2 weeks or less. That's what they guaranteed me. We have enough of a workforce and a strong enough workforce to ensure that buildings will be built and can be improved on as need be. I leave it to all you to establish an economy.
I think we could probably just leave it as Undertoe for now, like on paperwork. Just so that it's not
Undertoe is the island name,
Mhm.
and then the
Yeah.
Yeah,
town
you
name
can
will be its own
rename
name.
both, is what I'm saying. Roland then kind of pulls all of you aside, Marcus as well. There is something now that we are all agreed, and I have a separate proposition for all of you. If you wouldn't mind coming with me to one of the higher points on the island, just up the hill there.
Of course.
Okay.
Fantastic. And he goes walking off kind of into the brush. And if you follow him, going up this hill, there's like a clear portion where the trees kind of break. Winora, I spoke to you earlier about being completely honest about things.
Yes.
And in Elder, he's going to say, why don't we be honest now?
What now?
Scarlet, I only heard. I can only recognize it. I haven't learned enough yet. Can you please translate?
Yeah, I don't think I speak it, right?
We're learning like
We've been
alphabet and
learning,
like
but, like-
sounds, but like
There's
Yeah.
no way we
A
know what
E
he
I
just
O
said.
U. Sometimes Y.
Scarlet does, but
Scarlet's just gonna roll her eyes and just translate.
Proximus, you've been like
Okay.
willfully avoiding learning Elder, haven't you?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
And Proximus is the only one that survives at the end.
Do you understand that Proximus'
Secretly, this is a Call of
intelligence is
Cthulhu
8?
campaign.
That's
Wait,
a -1?
you have
So-
8 intelligence?
Oh, he's
I
straight
didn't know
himbo.
this.
Like,
sweet
come on.
boy. Oh no.
Oh, yeah.
I'm
Like,
just finding this out 2 seasons later.
yeah, intelligence, dump stat, 100.
It's okay. I think I started off with an 8 too, or a 9.
No way.
I did. And then I'm just like, no, I'm too smart of a player. I need to at least get this to a flat.
You're right. I have to rearrange this. Yeah.
Wow. This is where I run into trouble. Mine's 20, and I'm like, I'm not that smart enough of a player.
So when Scarlet translates, he kind of looks, I would say, frustrated a little bit. That's not what I was hoping for.
What were you hoping for?
I was hoping that you could at least understand that.
We're learning.
That
It's been a slow process.
But a process,
Understood.
we're working on it. We're on 2 ships.
I could
Someone's got a
semi-read it.
boyfriend.
But when you say that, Marcus looks over and goes, "She does. Who?"
Info number 2.
I would love to know what boyfriend is an elder. Like, I would like to translate on that and then translate back into common because
We don't have time. What I was hoping for, and this is based off of something that Acacia said the other night, is that you were, I'm going to use the word fluent because it fits, more fluent with the concept of elders.
Yeah.
oh yeah.
We know a chunk. Don't know if it's what you know, but we're not completely ignorant, and nor do we think it's children's tales.
Are we
Oh, they're
still-
not. They're not children's
Oh,
tales.
We're well aware it's not children's tales.
What are you aware of?
How about this? One question back and forth. Just so
That's
it's
fair.
not one person gushing all the information.
Totally fair. So I will ask this. Have you encountered elder materials in your travels?
Yes, depending on what you mean by materials, and also, have we switched to a common language?
Artifacts.
Or is this?
Yes.
all-
No, this
Okay.
is all in, yeah. He's when he said that, like when he was frustrated, he was like, I thought you would know more, this is all in common.
Yeah. Okay. Just one.
So yes, I'm talking about elder artifacts.
That
think
includes
he-
this is an Eva question. That includes shards, right? Like,
Sure, I mean, at the very least,
Yes.
he's talking about the compass. The astrolabe.
Yes,
Yes.
we have.
yes, we have.
Okay. All right. Your question.
I kind of like give a look at everyone else. Like where the fuck do we start? You know what? This is gonna make it easy. I'm gonna mind link.
Good. Yes.
Fine.
Ooh.
Mind link. Not
Who are
with
you
not with
leaving
him.
out? Yeah. Are you including Marcus?
Sure, I'll include Marcus. Why not?
Okay.
Poor thing's not gonna know what the fuck is going on.
He's just
Right.
like, who's Scarlet's
He's like, what
boy? He's
the
just
fuck
yelling,
is Elder?
who's Scarlet's
I
boyfriend?
wasn't even supposed to be here today.
Yeah, I just
Is
give
it
them
Sailor Jim? I knew it.
It's Sunny. What?
Really does have standards.
Constance, you're right.
I knew it.
Constance. Bless.
But no, I look at the rest of them side eye and like just ask mentally, where do we start?
Is there a beginning?
Wait, are we doing like a back and forth question?
Question, yeah.
Yeah.
But this is all in your heads.
Yeah.
This part, yeah. Like, where is our starting point?
That. I mean, we could just say that that's what brought us together.
You know what? Where did you learn Elder?
I learned it from primarily from the college that the Arcanium had several books on it, and I put a lot of time. I had magical energy into figuring out what the words meant, how to pronounce them, and I will tell you all this. I uncovered quite a bit of information, being one of the only people that I thought in Damaris who understood Elder. And I have notebooks and learnings that I may be the only one who's ever uncovered in this millennia.
Do you want help?
I do. I do want help. And that was your question. 2 questions, actually, so that gives me 2. Do you have
No,
an
it was
elder
it's questions about the elder stuff. That was just your sister being nice. Come
Also,
on,
to
let's
be fair, I
fair.
guess you did
Fine.
already ask for our help, so...
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
I am asking for your help, yes. I won't follow for this. Do you have a piece of any piece of elder artifact on your person currently?
I look at Winnie. I do, but I don't know where the others are. Winnie, where'd you put the others?
I have the shard and my part of the compass, right?
I'm implying for the compass.
Yeah,
Astrolabe,
no, I'm just like...
Astrolabe. Yeah.
Me, Eva, is trying to remember... I know I have the shard. I was trying to remember if I had the astrolabe. Or...
I have my part of the astrolabe. I don't know where the other two are.
Because we split it like a best friend's heart, right?
Well, we didn't have a choice, but yes.
Yeah, well, it's more fun if I say it that way. Yeah, well, not on my person, but like...
Redemption.
Oh, well, yeah.
You do not have it on your person?
I have my piece on my person.
Okay.
I have, for this meeting, I have the, like, for the... After working on the mirror and stuff, I have the, shard in Little Jeffrey. Hey, is it a bad idea to put it in a bag of holding? Just asking for a friend.
No.
Okay.
Do you... Okay, so does Acacia have her
Yes.
piece on her?
I said
Okay.
yes. I said I do
Okay.
have yes.
May I see any pieces of elder artifact that you currently have?
As long as you answer why.
Well, depending on what you have, we might be able to help each other. I promise not to steal or damage your piece in any way.
I'll take mine off and hold it out. I'm not going to hand it to him, but I'm holding like the leather like strap so he can look at it and hold it, but he's not yanking it.
And I have the other half, around, but not on me.
There's 2 more pieces. Do you have the other 2/3?
Yes.
Yes,
But not currently here.
correct. Like a 20-minute walk. Swim. I don't remember how far away the boat is. I can get
It's on the boat.
Yes.
I'm just going to tell you right now, freebie. The pieces are useless to you right now, as they currently are.
Freebie in return. I highly disagree, but
It's
that's
been
only
used.
because it's been used to do what?
We found a... Wait, whose turn is it? There's a panicked voice from Winnie in the, like, mental link. Whose turn is it?
That's a good question. I lost count.
Okay, good. I thought it was just me. Assuming that's your question, we found a shard. With it.
All
with
right.
the piece. With the astrolabe.
That was all of you.
Yes.
And someone who is currently dead.
Well, yeah, but she didn't really have, like... Hey, you weren't hoping to work with Eula again, were you, by the way? Because that was...
Winora, I know Winnie's dead. All right. No, I'm sorry. I know Eula's dead. I apologize.
Yeah, okay. Kind of thought we had talked about that, but maybe not.
No, we didn't, but I know.
Okay. Yes. So that was us. And we're still here.
So,
Miraculously.
have you used it to find other shards?
No, it broke apart. It was, like Acacia said, all used up. I feel like you're asking a lot of questions here, and I feel like we're owed a couple.
That was the point. You said that the other 2/3 of the pieces are on the ship. In your study? Your
Do you want me to go
laboratory?
get it? Them?
You could tell me where they are, and I could get them much faster than you.
The real question is,
Okay.
Winnie, do you want him rummaging through your stuff?
Well, if I tell him exactly where it is, I mean, you're just gonna go get it and then come back, right? Like, this isn't like
Yes.
growing up. You're not gonna. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So you go in the door, and then there's like 2 floorboards that have a knot that kind of looks like a mouse head. If you look at it, kind of funny. And one of them is a little loose, so about 6 inches away from the mouse head on the right. You're going to want to pry that one up, and then it's under there. But don't go to the left of the mouse head, because that's integral to the ship, apparently. So I was told.
Okay. Noted. And with that, he has kind of like this. It actually looks a lot like your astrolabe, but it doesn't have the crossbar. It's just spinning rings on it. And he kind of palms it, twists a few of the rings, and casts teleport. That is his arcane focus.
As soon as he disappears, Winnie looks panicked, shoves her hand into little Jeffrey's mouth, grabs the sending stone, and says, "No, wait! It's in the right-hand drawer of my desk! Don't look under the floorboard!"
Yes, you all have your shell phones,
Shell
which,
phone, yes.
again, are small little shells that you could fit inside your ear. And if you touch them, you do have 10 miles that you can talk to everybody on your family plan with, and then you can also cast sending. So, are you lying to him, or are you being honest?
No, I'm being honest.
You're just hiding Winnie's porn? Okay.
I don't think you understand, like, how much Winnie, like, has a organized mess of a lab, and she moves stuff constantly
Sure.
for different reasons, and it's sort of like whatever is relevant at the time. But yeah, we won't talk about what's on the floorboards.
Gross. He teleports back within moments with the 2 pieces. Keisha, if it is all right with you, if I could rejoin these pieces. I believe this has a function that you all might not be familiar with. One that could help all of us.
I say
I'll
why
undo
not?
the. Yeah, I'll undo the. I'll take it off the necklace.
He reassembles it, and then takes out a 4th piece, much larger, almost a bigger kind of circle than the rest of them, and it has elder markings all around the outside. And he places it inside of it. It locks into place, and he presses down on the other spheres to where they kind of all click down to where it's nearly flush, except for the crossbar. And much like his arcane focus, he begins to spin the rings until you see that the symbols on the outside, individual symbols on each of the rings, begin to align and light up. He says, "You all were using it as one form of navigation, an astrolabe to pull down an elder shard. It is my pleasure to inform you that there are elder shards already here. There are actually elder technology that is already here. And this is a wonderful little magnet to finding them. And in a way, you can use it as a compass." And he hands it back to you, Acacia, and you can see that as you hold it, the crossbar begins to kind of turn, and kind of, depending on how you turn it, it stays pointing in a certain direction. If you know where you're looking, or what you're looking for, you can align these symbols, and it will point where you need it to point. Find what you want it to find.
Does it point towards Winnie?
No, it is pointing,
Who is still
It
as
is
far from
pointing-
you as she can get, for the record.
far off to the west. It is pointing, where are you right now? Yes, almost northwest. Yeah, almost like, I don't know my degrees, but like...
On a clock.
I'm sorry, southwest. It is pointing southwest, so almost like, on a clock, like 7 or 8.
Hey, so what you're saying is we couldn't do this part, we weren't using it wrong, because like we didn't have this other piece. Like we did the best we could with what we had, right?
I if you found an elder shard, that's honestly impressive. I've only been able to pull down 2. And honestly, I used up that energy rather quickly.
In the mind link, she just says, okay, mark it in your journals. He said that was really good.
Now that we have this, there is something that I would like to show all of you. There is something that I am hoping that this island and all of you can assist me in constructing. A piece of true marvel. If you would allow me, and he holds out his hand for the now compass.
I will hand it back.
And he is going to cast a spell. I don't think there's actually a save for this. He is going to cast Dream of the Blue Veil. You and up to 8 willing creatures within range fall unconscious for the spell's duration and experience visions of another world on the material plane. For the sake of what we're doing here, he's almost taking you to a different point in time, because that essentially was another world. The spell reaches its full duration. The visions conclude with each of you encountering and pulling back a mysterious blue curtain. The spell ends with you mentally and physically transported to the world that was in the visions. To cast this spell, you must have a magic item originating in the world you wish to reach, and you must be aware of the world's existence, even if you don't know the world's name. Your destination in the other world would be a safe location with 1 mile of the magic item created. Alternatively, you can also cast a spell if one of the affected creatures was born in another world, blah, blah, blah. Anyway. He is going to take the piece, and you all are going to kind of see the night sky fall around you, the land fall out from beneath your feet without you flying or falling, and the stars kind of surrounding you and spinning to where the point where the light of the stars are spinning so fast that it's like white surrounding all around you. And as that light falls away, you find yourself standing in kind of an alien place. It's, from what any of you can tell, a research place of sorts. There's elder technology everywhere. Different types of metals, copper-like metals that seem to have this like oil slick sheen to them that normal metals really don't. And in the center of this large room, you all see an armillary sphere. Armillary sphere, if you're not familiar, is one of those things that has all these rings, like larger rings down to smaller rings, all kind of spinning independently of each other. Almost like a gyrosphere or a gyroscope. And you can see that each of these rings is marked with elder language, each spinning slowly on its own axis all around each other. And at the center is an elder shard. This is what I want to build. This, I believe, can do great things in this world. It can power arcane ideas that have never been powered before. It can bring peace to a world. It can provide resources to people who have no resources. It can energize people who have no energy. I don't know how to put it into normal words, aside from the fact that it is in and of itself a miraculous contraption. And I'm hoping that all of you will help me build this.
I think that's going to have to be a further discussion once we learn more about it. Not knocking your idea or your dreams or your desires, because I think we all know how that affects us as people. But if this does exactly what you says it does, it can also be used to do great harm.
Absolutely. And that is what I want to prevent. From the notes that I have, which I am still decoding, I have found that these pieces, as far as I've been able to tell, are currently on our material plane within our timeline. And what they are able to do is they are able to do essentially two things. They provide great arcane energy, which can be used, absolutely to your point, for great harm or great help. The other thing they can do is they can pull down Elder Shards. And if we can pull down Elder Shards, perhaps we can use those to make Damaris a safer, better place. I fear the Nerian Empire is only going to expand, and at a certain point they are going to need to meet their match. And I've seen the things that they can do firsthand. I am looking for a way to prevent those from happening again. Winnie.
Question. 2 questions. In this vision, this is a vision. Is it like we're there, or are we just like looking at it? Like,
I will say this:
around visually.
You can absolutely move around, and Winnie, you notice that like at a certain if you go to move your hand through an object, you notice that when you first move it through, it's like a ghost moves right through, whether you're the specter or it, almost dreamlike. But as you begin to move around, you begin to feel more physical in this place as the spell goes on. That you are almost like reverse Marty McFlying into this timeline. And he is, you are being placed into this point in space as he maintains the spell.
And he's talking as this is going on. Do you know how to make this? Do you have the and she's walking around this armorly sphere. And like do you have schematics? Do you have
I do.
Are you just missing the pieces?
I'm missing the pieces. The pieces have been around for millennia at this point, and as I understand from the notes and journals that I have read, have passed from people to people, from hand to hand. Some have maintained ownership for quite a long time, but most don't realize what they have. They realize that they are important or valuable, but not why.
I would like, ideally with some sort of, I would like to just scope out this machine and get a feeling for how it runs. Because the function is everything he just said, right? Like, he told us.
I mean, that's, as far as he understands, that is, he has informed you. So looking at it, you can,
I guess, double check that what he's telling us, not necessarily that I doubt him, but I want to look at the machine and gauge for myself what it does, and then also how it works.
What this machine does is it puts out a lot of magical energy, just as a base. What you do with that magical energy, I mean, you could use it as a generator. You could use it to create a shield. You could use it like a Death Star. What you do with the energy is kind of like, it's dependent. You can tell that it is likely powered by the Elder Shard that's at the center, Elder Shard, and that I'm going to compare it to this. It's a lot like a Stargate, in a sense that you need to line up those rings in a very specific pattern, the same way the astrolabe need to be lined up, same way the compass needs to be lined up. That you need to have a certain know-how to even operate this. And what he said is kind of like, it's more probably acting like a tractor beam. It's pulling down astrolabes for their magical energy. That is what you can kind of see as the primary goal. As you can even see that there are other astrolabes like lined up on the wall. And these are all smooth, I should note. Like, these aren't jagged like your piece is. These have almost been, like, refined.
And then I just want to kind of commit as much to memory as I can of how it all fits together and works. And
Yeah, I mean, you could pull out a notebook and start taking notes if you wanted.
Yes, if I'm
Listen,
able to do so based on the situation we're in, yes, that is exactly what I'd like to do.
The Arcanium, the Imperial Arcanium is desperate for this knowledge. Winnie, I apologize for lying to you earlier. I am not a precantor of the Arcanium. I stole the information that I have. I am currently wanted by the Empire.
Congrats.
Oh, good
Welcome
for
to the
you.
club.
That's way cooler.
It's funner over here.
Yeah, you can get free drinks, you know.
I wasn't
We
aware.
have cookies and all kinds of things. We get free drinks.
What's
If
the
you're
island
lucky
again,
enough,
Derek?
you can
Which
collect your
island?
own bounty.
Umberlee's Eye.
Duly noted. Basically, the Empire is desperate for this knowledge, and they have some of it. There are decoders. There are other people within the Empire who have figured out Elder. Some not always for the best reasons. But the Empire is desperate to have this technology, and I am desperate to make sure that they don't. That I can get to it first, that I can prevent them from having it. And I am hoping that if I can assemble this miracle, that I can stop them once and for all. And I am asking for you all because I cannot do this myself, because I must remain here to assemble and watch for the pieces that I already have. I am hoping that you all can go and get them for me. I have actually already locked in the first position of one of the pieces into your compass. So trust me or not, it will lead you there.
I'm going to pop in super quick and just double back on what you said before. Just a hard life thought right here. To take down an entire empire, you're going to need more than 5 people and 2 ships, so start continuing to plan and not banking on this super weapon.
I don't want to be rude, but I do think that you are underestimating what this can do. You all
And
have
I'm also
experienced an
saying,
overshard.
do not bank on the fact that we will be able to make it.
We could die. We get into a lot of really bad situations.
We've almost died multiple times.
Yeah,
I've
mostly
actually died
Proximus, but,
twice before, yes.
Oh yeah, and Proximus has died.
Yeah.
But you're all still here.
For now.
You all faced a Hydra. You faced off against Eula Saltsmile, the queen god of Krakens, the great unbeheld.
Yeah.
But people die, and that's a fact. And you cannot rely on the fact that we might come back.
It's a very good plan. The point is, it's always good to plan for a backup.
Yes. Like, when a thief goes in to steal something, we have multiple ways out. When something goes wrong.
I mean, we didn't really have a backup plan for you, love. This is in the mind link. But yeah, the point is still sound.
I didn't really want to back up to my sister. I was really hoping. I'm not asking you to do anything that. I'm asking you to do absolutely something that is difficult, but I don't believe impossible. And I leave it to all of you. I'm asking for your help in this. I am willing to fund your adventures. I am willing to do anything that you ask of. As your patron, I am asking for you to collect these rings for me. And should you all have endeavors that you seek to topple the Empire on your own, then fantastic. But this is my goal.
And I'm not saying it's a bad idea or a bad goal, but putting all of your eggs in one basket is not good.
In the mind link, Winnie is just going to say, it's not good, but in fairness, if we fail, we're gonna be dead and he can figure it out on his own, so...
I think I say this next part out loud. You know what, Winnie? You're right. You're right about that. This is what I should just
trust.
I should just stop trying to be a good person and try to have him see reason. You're right.
Okay, I don't recall saying that part, but
no, that was just me.
Yeah, I know. Just to be clear.
My bottom line is I don't have anyone else I can trust or anyone else I can ask. I don't want to trust this to mercenaries. You all, two of you, have established yourselves as family members, and Winnie tends to make friends with everyone, only making our family even larger. I am asking family because I trust family more than... Again, I have no one else. I'm not going to ask mercenaries. I'm not going to hire an army. I am asking all of you because you have shown yourselves to be skilled, and from what I have seen, from what I have heard, from what I have ordained, you all are the most skilled for these endeavors.
Scarlet, Proximus, in the mind link.
Yeah, Captain, first mate.
Also, is Sparky is Marcus like, in this vision also?
Sparky.
I know he's
Why did you
like
call him
mind
Sparky?
link because I forgot his name. Give me a break.
Yeah, Marcus is there. Marcus is kind of like walking around, and as he's becoming more corporeal, is like pressing on the rings and just spinning them. He's kind of just walking around, kind of like a person at a museum might, like hands behind your back.
Yeah.
Like,
if he's there, like Winnie will also ask his opinion because I guess it's rude not to. He's there. But most importantly, Scarlet, Proximus, Marcus, thoughts?
this is
opinions?
a very weird dream.
Okay.
Oh, it's not
Scarlet,
a dream.
Proximus.
I was taught to trust him.
Oh.
By your...
Yes.
I don't like that.
I don't either.
I'd rather just trust him for him than saying that you're...
Right. Yes.
Said we should.
I think I was told to trust him because it wants something from him. And I'm curious as to what.
Fair enough.
I think it wants the Elder Shards.
When he wants to poke the Elder Shard in the middle of the sphere.
Okay.
I mean, it's vision,
Roll
right?
Arcana.
$27.
You poke it and are able to pull your hand back before it's like electricity, but it flows differently. It doesn't like crackle. It doesn't have the edges that like electricity does. It's more like it flows like flame or water, and you pull back before it can strike you, but it kind of emits outwards towards the rings, and you watch as they kind of light up for a moment. The Elder Shard is in Jeffrey, or you pulled it out? Do you have it on your person?
Yeah, I guess I've just sort of been holding it because no one else seemed interested in it, and when he just...
Oh, I didn't realize you removed the your Elder Shard.
Yeah, pulled it from...
I pulled it out of Jeffrey because when he thought that, like, Elder stuff included the shard, and it was never addressed, so she's just been, like, awkwardly holding it. I think at this point it's, like, under her arm because she's been, like, making notes, but yeah.
So, though it doesn't hit your hand, it does emit outwards at your Elder Shard. And you feel kind of like a low thrum. Again, like you know, touching a battery. It's not like you got shocked by an outlet, but you can feel the energy thrumming forward from it as it seems to have been partially rejuiced.
Okay.
And Roland does look over. He goes, Winora, please, if you could not touch that.
I thought
Please.
it was a vision. I didn't know it was, like, a thing
Well,
that was...
We are in a different place and time,
Hey,
and we are becoming more and more gradually there.
When you're taking people to a place? Like, you could just sort of, like, set the ground rules of, like...
Winora, we've been to museums before, and you always touch the paintings.
Well, yeah, but...
You always give them smiles.
Yeah? The minute he looks away from me, I'm going to use the wand of smiles on him.
Okay. Go ahead. What does he need to do?
Forgot I had to actually do something. It is a DC 10 charisma saving throw, which should be pretty hard for him.
He has an 8 charisma, so I don't know. I'm gonna say he counterspells. He just kind of like flicks it back at you.
Well, I don't know if you can counterspell
I don't know if you can
items.
I will roll.
Okay, I was gonna say it feels like something he would absolutely waste a counterspell on, though.
I don't know if you can do it
wasted
on
in that 20. That's all it was.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair.
So a 19. So, yes, he does. He succeeds and does not smile.
That's.
How many charges you got?
Gonna wear this out.
Did you ask me that? Because if Acacia
No.
asked that in the mind link, I would definitely.
I think I would ask him the mind link.
We're just gonna shrug and do it again. How many counter spells you got?
So that was a 12. So that's 11. So you got a little closer that time. Let's see.
I know we're trying to wrap it up, but also.
Winora. Winnie, I need you to give me a dexterity saving throw, please.
16.
Okay. Winnie, he kind of like spins after the second spell and goes, fine. If you can't keep your hands to yourself, and on his arcane focus, he channels a spell, casts it at you, and Winnie, you find yourself in essentially a hamster ball. He casts Resilient Sphere on you. So you can't touch anything. You can't cast spells through it. You can breathe. You're immune to all damage, but really can't move. Yeah.
Okay, she's gonna use her pipe of smoke monsters to just
To hotbox?
No, I said that, and then I remembered I have mage hands, so she's just going to do a middle finger at him. Even though she has 2 perfectly good middle fingers of her own.
Listen, I think that we've spent enough time here. If we stay here for 6 hours, we actually stay here, and that's not good for the timeline. So, I'm going to take us back, and we can discuss further. And with that, he ends his spell and brings you all back to the top of that hill. I am hoping to build on this hill, this high spot, and make the observatory here where I can learn more and do more. And I'm asking for all of you to consider helping me. Obviously, you don't need to make the decision right now. I expect you all to talk amongst yourselves. But that is my offer, and we will leave it there.
Am I still in the ball?
Yes.
Can I use the mind?
He ends the sphere.
Okay, thank you. I say in the mind link, I say, we let him sleep on it, whether we have a decision now or not, even though it kind of sounds like maybe we do. And we let him know tomorrow.
Next couple of days.
Yeah.
And I think that's where we're going to end it tonight.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Fantastic. Thank you all. Let me This isn't the worst music to go out on. That's fine. It's got a dreamy feel. Okay, thank you all for joining us for Horizons Call. We are going to do some interesting episodes coming up here in the next few weeks. But I will save those. I do want to reiterate one last time that if you do appreciate this cast, which honestly, how can you not? They're wonderful people. Please consider supporting them through pally.gg. You can find that in our chat. If you do, you can impact this game at certain donation levels, and everything you donate gets evenly distributed amongst our players without taking the big cut that Twitch does. And anything. So if you even donate in the middle of the week, it goes forward to whatever the next game is. Definitely appreciate you all sticking around. Definitely appreciate you all being here for another session of Horizons Call. It means a lot to me. It means a lot to me. Speaking for Sword and Key, bottom of my heart, it's just fantastic. I'm going to have these lovely people say more about themselves, where you can find them, and then I'll talk about myself and all the Sword and Key calendar stuff, because we've got some really great stuff coming soon. So let's see. Let's go ahead and go in reverse order this time, so we can end with Eva. So Kaila, if you don't mind starting us out.
Hi, hello. My name is Kaila. I'm many faces and many places in the TTRPG realm, as well as painting on my own channel. Took a little bit of a hiatus for about a month and a half, but I am back. I am painting. Unfortunately, co-working streams are done because I did find a new job. So we are streaming during the evening time specific. I don't have a set schedule yet, but if you would like to follow me and turn on notifications, I promise it's a good chill time.
Fantastic. Thank you, Kaila. Mikyl.
Hi, fam. I'm Mikyl. You can find me at Mikyl Sandoval on Instagram, Twitter, Tumblr. I do some art there. I do some things. I'm only here on this channel because I love this channel and I love Sword and Key, and I love everybody on screen. So I just focus all my energy right here. Please check us out on the Discord. I post all of my art there. I am bad at social media. I'm terrible, but I do. I'm very, very active on the Discord channel for Sword and Key. So, and I'm sure Derek will fill in the blanks there. So, all right. Love you.
Yes, as always, a special thank you to Mikyl for doing the art for this campaign. Definitely check out Mykyl's art. Yeah, you can. I'll get to Sword and Key stuff later, but yes, definitely check out Mikyl. He is fantastic, and we always appreciate the stuff he does for us. Mare.
Hi, I'm Mare. You can find me on Twitter, Archmage of Dice. My TTRPG stuff has wound down just a little bit, but right now I'm in the middle of a game of Print Weaver called Pillars of Ink over on Neon Lights Roleplay. That is on Sundays at 6 p.m. Eastern. We will have no session tomorrow. We will be back on July 2nd because unfortunately I have to do work travel stuff. Boo. I'll be in a couple charity games next month, and I may be opening up a casting call for Magical Kitties Save the Day for charity. That's all I got.
Fantastic. Thank you, Mare. Yes, definitely check out that cast called Magical Kitty Save the Days. Fantastic game. Mare does an excellent job with it. Eva, I will happily deal with channel news, but any specific stuff for you?
Hi, hello. I am Eva. You can find me on Twitter at the Eva Serrate. I am running my last session of Triangle Agency tomorrow at 10 a.m. I guess this is sort of like overlapping with channel news, but that's fine and okay. Anik and I will be doing a Sword and Tea July 8th with Jason Cordova from the Gauntlet, talking about public access and Silt versus July. We're getting into July 8th at 10 a.m. And that's, I think, it from me at the moment, but things are on the burners, as they say. They don't say that, but that's me. That's what I got.
Thank you, Eva. And I guess that's me. I'm last. My name is Derek. I have been your GM. I'm very happily been your GM for this another session of Horizons Call. Just to give you all some, well, I guess I'll talk about myself. Follow me on Twitter at dsword16. I'm a voice actor. I'm a podcaster. I am a TTRPG streamer, weirdly enough. Yes, you can listen to my podcast, Monster Crush, wherever podcasts are found. I wrote a thing that is funny, and I need to find it. It is a bi-weekly, trans-dimensional Pandora's box of monster love. My co-host Heavenly and I explore the world of cryptids and creatures on a never-ending quest to find love in all the wrong places, and you can find it wherever you catch your prods. We have a new episode coming out, not tomorrow, but next Sunday. That is actually an older episode that we just found in the vault. It is the last episode we recorded for a 2-year hiatus. It will be released exactly 2 years to the day from when we recorded it, which is a weird bit of serendipitous kind of nonsense. Other stuff that's not happening anymore, or it already happened. Definitely check out Sword and Key on Twitter. You can actually find all of our stuff at beacons.ai/Sword and Key, all one word, and that has all of our social media on there, as well as a place where you can join our Discord and see Mykyl's artwork and chat about games and chat about podcasts and all sorts of stuff like that. Every Saturday at 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Eastern is Horizons Call. For the next 4 weeks, we're going to have some special episodes that are going to be just me and one of my players. We are going to do development episodes. So next week is the Proximus episode. I believe I titled it Heroics by Proximus, which is my pun on Heroics by Proxy, which is a thing in fiction. Then we were going to do the Scarlet episode, then Acacia, then Winnie. So check all of those out. Some of them will be pre-recorded, so just bear that in mind as far as, expecting black spots and stuff like that to be active. If you do donate a black spot during the stream, it will go towards the next one. We will try to be transparent about that. But definitely check those out. We'll do 1 to 3 hours developing a character, just mini stories that try to flesh out who they are, how they interact with the world around them, and NPCs as well, and give a little more flavor and background outside of the main story. So I'm very excited about that. Again, as Eva said, tomorrow, Sunday, June 25th at 10 a.m. Pacific / 1 p.m. Eastern, we have the last of the 3 sessions of Triangle Agency, which Eva is GMing. The next episode of Monster Crush, like I said, is an older one that will be available on July 2nd. Fraying Threads campaign has concluded, but you can always rewatch the amazing story that Mare told as the GM there, along with wonderful players they had on our YouTube. That's youtube.com/Sword and Key, all one word again. Every other Sunday at 2:30 p.m. Pacific / 5:30 p.m. Eastern is our continuing Brindlewood Bay campaign that is GM'd by the incredible Jen and does feature Eva in it. And the next session of that is July 2nd. We have a very fun Sunbear Honey Heist game organized by the fantastic Gona Hawking. That is on June 30th at 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern. This is a charity game, has some great new faces. We just put something out on Twitter about it. We actually have official authors and some really cool folks that are going to be on the channel, and that will benefit the Transgender Law Center. Again, as Eva mentioned, following the conclusion of the 3-part Triangle Agency game that concludes tomorrow, next weekend, next Sunday, we have another mini campaign of Vast Grim. So that will, again, be Sunday, same time slot, 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern, again, starting July 2nd. And lastly, as Eva said, we have the Sword and Tea chat hosted by Eva with Jason Cordova, who is an Emmy-winning podcaster, founder of the Gauntlet Publishing Company, and creator of games Brindlewood Bay and The Between. And that is at 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern on July 8th. That is it. Check out, check out beacons.ai/Sword and Key. You can find our Discord there, which actually has our calendar, has our Google Calendar on there. You can check out everything there. And follow us on Twitter. Has all the stuff there as well, because we're still on that hell site until it burns to the ground. And that is it for us. So we will see you next week. Mikyl and I will see you next week. Until that time, fair winds and following seas, brave mariners. Take care of yourselves.